only been present in the house. He actually, when he got to this house, he used to sit somewhere at the back. But at some point, he moved to the seat next to the Parliamentary Service Commissioners, next to you, Honorable Speaker. And you know, from his height, you cannot fail to notice Honorable Ruku. And maybe because of that, his height and physique, he has had opportunity to contribute immensely to many motions and debates in this House and bills. And I must give credit to Honorable Ruku because he has been an avid debater who has actively participated in legislative. You know, Honorable Speaker, there are members who are usually in this House, conversing, making noise, gossiping, but never debating. And they never give those on the floor time even to be heard. But Honorable Ruku has been far from that. The Honorable Ruku has been an avid debater, someone who takes his time to read and understand what is before the House. Honorable Speaker, not only in the House, Honorable Speaker, you have seen the Honorable Ruku, how good he has been in articulating government policy. And if you can protect me from the noise behind me, Honorable Speaker. Point of order. Point of order. Honorable Speaker, I was saying Honorable Ruku has been very...
From the rebel.
Mr. Speaker.
Give the honorable member the mic.
Mr. Speaker, from the statements of the majority leader, he has described members as gossipers in this House. Mr. Speaker, is that a parliamentary language admissible in this House, Mr. Speaker? It's very demeaning of members.
The majority leader act accordingly and desist from using terms that would cause so many...
Honorable Speaker, unless you feel guilty, I have not named any names. I said in support of the Honorable Ruku, he has been an avid debater in this House. And it's a fact that speaks for itself. I also, if there are members who are present in the House but don't debate, and the hands that can prove me right. And if anyone wants to challenge me, I can adduce evidence of how many times each and every one of us has been debating in this House. And those who have been very noisy without debating, I can also adduce evidence. Honorable Speaker, I was saying Honorable Ruku has also been very keen in articulating government policy, both in the House, outside the House, and even on national TV in debates, and informing the public what the government is doing, and also on his work as a legislator. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Ms. Hannah Wendot Cheptumo, as I said, is an accomplished professional. And I know, Honorable Speaker, this lady has been welcomed to the public sector by those on social media because of an unfortunate statement that she made. Inadvertently, Honorable Speaker, I must say so. And for those who are keen on the approval hearing, we'll notice that she was basically responding to something that was prompted to her by a member of the committee. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I know she has been welcomed to the public sector by those on social media in not a very kind way, Honorable Speaker. But I can tell members of the public that Ms. Cheptumo is an accomplished lawyer, a lady of immense professional attributes as a lawyer, as a defender of human rights, as a fighter for women's rights, and as a lover of children, including our young girls and women, and a firm defender. And I am certain, Honorable Speaker, as much as gender issues are not just about women, but because of the cases we have seen in the country of femicide and abuse of the rights of women in this country, I am very certain, being an accomplished lawyer, Ms. Hannah Wendot Cheptumo will be at the forefront in defending both genders. Because, Honorable Speaker, during the approval hearings, I did hear the Honorable Junette, the leader of minority, assert that indeed there are also men who suffer. And they suffer quietly. And they look up to Ms. Cheptumo to ensure that they are not suffering quietly, because gender-based issues are not just about the female gender.
Point of? No, just what is out of order? Just give it to the Honorable Deputy Speaker.
As much as I agree with the with the Leader of Majority on the professionalism of Anna Wendot Cheptumo. I still think that the statement she made was unfortunate. It's completely politically incorrect.
Order.
And she must...
Order. This motion is coming up for debate shortly. So anybody wants to say something about it, will say it at that time. Don't want you to proceed and finish on this.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, because I honestly didn't understand what was out of order. That is a point for debate. And I only asserted, Honorable Speaker, what transpired. And I know the Deputy Speaker, who is a member of the Appointments Committee, was away. She was not in the vetting committee. Therefore, she would understand where we are coming from on that matter. But I was asserting that this lady has what it takes to defend the rights of both genders, whether it is the male gender or the female gender. And I was asserting that the Honorable Junet did actually get that assertion from her, that gender matters are cut across both ways. Honorable Speaker, I am certain that this lady will be able to serve the Kenyan people and the Kenyan government. And Honorable Speaker, without being an apologist for her, it is only right at times to understand the context in which things are said, and someone who has not been in the space that she was in that day is likely to make such small mistakes, Honorable Speaker. When you have not less than 20 cameras on your face and you are not used to it, Honorable Speaker, people panic and may answer questions in a way that they never intended to. And that is why I said, if the Deputy Speaker was listening to me, and I'm sure even now she's not listening, I said it was inadvertent. Honorable Speaker, I hope the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Gladys Bosholei, has heard what I said, that it was inadvertent, and therefore, on behalf of the good lady, may I offer unreserved apologies, because indeed, I'm certain it's something she regretted after she watched what had happened, and I have since spoken to her, and she has offered her unreserved apologies to the country, to the committee, to this House, for that inadvertent statement. And I think it is only right that even us, as people who are keen on defending not just girl and women rights, but even the rights of men who are being battered in some quarters, Honorable Speaker, and we must be able to support this lady. And the Honorable Ruku Kiringa Joffrey. Honorable Speaker, allow me to then move. Request the Leader of Minority to second this motion in agreement, who is also a senior member of this Committee of Appointments. Honorable Speaker, urge the House to support the appointment of these two cabinet secretaries so that they may go forth and serve the people of Kenya. Honorable Ruku will leave this House, if approved by the House, to go and serve in the executive, Honorable Speaker. And I remember me telling him during the vetting process, the approval hearing on Monday, that we have seen in the past members who left this House, got to the executive and became very arrogant, became members of the executive who hold members of parliament with contempt. And we have told the Honorable Ruku, he will be the yardstick of the SI unit to measure whether it is customary that any member who leaves the legislature to go into the executive holds members of parliament and the people of Kenya with contempt. We do hope that he will serve with dedication, serve with the same commitment we have seen him serve the people of Mbere North in the House and the House, both in committee and in plenary. And we wish him all the best as he goes to serve in the executive. And we want to believe that he will serve better than those who have been there. I know he's a very young person, a very young man from Mbere North. I know there are those who are full of bile, as I said yesterday, because the Honorable Ruku is seen as a son to many of them. And they are angry that the replacement for the office of the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service is coming from Mbere and from a young man who qualifies to be somebody's son. But let me say, Honorable Ruku is not just appointed because he comes from Mbere. He has been appointed because of his capacity and ability to serve the people of Kenya in the position of Cabinet Secretary, just like he has served the people of Mbeere North had confidence in electing him as their member of parliament. And with that, Honorable Speaker, I beg for support for these two cabinet secretaries, and I beg to move and request Honorable Junet to second.
The Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion for adoption of the 5th report of the Committee on Appointments on the approval hearings of nominees for appointment as cabinet secretaries. Honorable Speaker, I wish to briefly highlight the specific observations that the committee made in respect of each nominee. Honorable Speaker, permit me to start with the first nominee, the Honorable Geoffrey Kariuki Kiringa Ruku,
who has been nominated to take over the Ministry of Public Service, Human Capital Development and Special Programs. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Ruku, as we all fondly refer to him as until recently a member of this House, and we all know him as an excellent, principled, and astute legislator. During his service in the House, his commitment to resolving issues of concern, not just to his constituency, but the nation was evident, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Ruku has also vast experience in public service, having served not just as a member of parliament for Mbeere North constituency, but also as a trustee of the Water Services Trust Fund. The nominee holds a Master's of Business Administration in Finance, postgraduate diploma in Diplomacy and International Relations, and a Bachelor of Commerce degree in Business Administration. Honorable Speaker, moving on to the last nominee, to the second nominee, Madam Hannah Wendot Cheptumo, the nominee for appointment as Cabinet Secretary for Gender, Culture and the Arts and the Heritage. The nominee
possesses relevant experience in public service, having previously served as a cooperative officer and a member of the disciplinary committee of ISPAC. In terms of academic qualifications, the nominee holds a bachelor's degree in law and a diploma in cooperative management. Honorable Speaker, as a committee, we also examine them on specific issues that fall under the dockets for which they have been nominated. And I can confirm that the two nominees meet the constitutional and statutory requirements for appointment as cabinet secretaries.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Speaker, let me say something. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Ruku has been with us in this House for the last 2.5 years. And Mr. Speaker, it is true, as the way the majority leader said, that he has been very active in this House. He has participated in this debate as even a first timer, Mr. Speaker, has done well. And he has been also participating in media conferences, Mr. Speaker, where he has been articulating national issues. Mr. Speaker, I really believe that it's up to the task, that he can do the assignment that he has been given as Cabinet Secretary for Public Service. Mr. Speaker, Honorable Ruku also has a wide experience because he has worked in different organizations. I've seen he has worked with Oxfam, a non-governmental organization. He has worked with the Water Trust Fund and other non-governmental organizations that have given him a lot of experience together with the public service he has done for the last 2.5 years. But having said, Mr. Speaker, let me come now to Madam Hannah Wendot. Mr. Speaker, me, if my opinion was sought, I would have made the Minister for Gender a man and not a lady, Mr. Speaker. Because gender cuts across, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker,
Don't Madenge.
What is this, Mr. Speaker?
Don't Madenge.
This is how many people behave. You are addressing the Speaker and standing in front of him.
Wait, where is the majority leader's mic?
What is this, Mr. Speaker? These are farmers. Anyway, Mr. Speaker, broad-based. Mr. Speaker, he's saying it's broad-based. And even his physical appearance is broad-based, I can see.
Proceed with the matter at hand.
Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to say this. You remember, Mr. Speaker, we had vetted another nominee earlier, who the House rejected. This is the second nominee that we have vetted 1 week ago. If you ask me, the Minister for Gender, Majority Leader, should be made a man. Because gender cuts across. And I think a man will have served the interests of women better than women themselves. He will have made sure that gender parity is mainstreamed in this country. I will have made sure, if today I was made the Minister for Gender, I will make sure this House conforms to the two-third gender, Mr. Speaker. I will have made sure that women get their rights. I will have made sure, Mr. Speaker, that there is no appointment that happens in this country which will not have the two-third gender. I think the right person to be the Minister for Gender is a man. Mr. Speaker, why do I say so? Mr. Speaker, it looks like women are given an opportunity to deal with their matters, but they don't take it serious. I hope Madam Wendot, if approved by this House, will take the issue of women very serious. Secondly, having been a member of that committee that vetted him, she must apologize. She must apologize on the statement, on the remarks she made on the women who die in Airbnb. Mr. Speaker, whether you are looking for money or not, you don't deserve to die. Death is not an answer to anything, Mr. Speaker. And you can't affirm whether those ladies were making money. How do you know they were looking? How do you know it's a love that went sour? You can't know. So in her qualifications, I have a lot of confidence that she can do the work, because she came before the committee with a lot of confidence, with a lot of experience. She showed that she can do the work. On that line, I'm supporting her, and I want us to give her a chance. But on the issue where you know, when some people appear before committees, they panic. You know, there's a panic, attack. That there's one of the cabinet secretaries, I don't want to mention the name, who appeared before the committee one time, and she could not answer a single question. So later I asked her in the afternoon, what happened? She told me, I don't know whether I was bewitched. I just appeared there and I could not answer any question. I don't know. I think there's something that happened that I cannot understand. And the House rejected, the committee rejected, but later the House approved. Mr. Speaker, in terms of her qualifications, she's a lawyer. She has done very well. She is a wife to a former politician. She has interacted with the public very well for the last 20 years. She is a leader in the church. She is a social worker. She has all the qualifications to advance the agenda of the women folk of this country. But on the statement, the remarks she made, if she finds favor with this House, she must give a clear statement of apology, Mr. Speaker, to the nation and especially to the women of Kenya, Mr. Speaker. And from there now she can assume office. That is, in fact, that should have been a condition to our approval, condition precedent, that we are going to approve you on condition that you apologize to the women of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, femicide is a very serious offense in this country. Women are killed for no reason, Mr. Speaker. She is the person we are putting in office to protect women, and not to agree with the killers that they were looking for money or they were looking for what. Who told you when you are with a woman in a room she's looking for money? Who told you? It could be the man who's looking for money. It could be the man who's poor. It could be the man who doesn't have money and he wants to con the woman, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, don't underrate women nowadays with money. Many women are rich. Some of them who are sitting here are very rich women. I know, Mr. Speaker. Some of them are richer than us. There's one facing me here. I know what she owns, Mr. Speaker. I know what she owns, Mr. Speaker. She's a very rich woman here. I know where she made the money from, but she's very rich, Mr. Speaker. I don't want to say how she made the money, but she's a very rich woman, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, the issue of associating with women with poverty, that any woman who is with a man is a gold digger, must stop, Mr. Speaker. That is stereotyping our women, Mr. Speaker. And the lives of our women are sacrosanct. Mr. Speaker, there is no life in this world without a woman, Mr. Speaker. And we must be all defenders of women's rights, whether we are men or women, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I think Honorable, you see, we are discussing women affairs, and it is women who are shouting here, Mr. Speaker. This is the problem we have in Kenya. If they could elect each other, they will be the president of this country, Mr. Speaker. They don't want to vote for themselves. They only vote for men, then later they say, oh, we are being marginalized. Mr. Speaker, if every woman votes for a woman, this House will have 2/3. I'm telling you, the biggest voters who have brought men to this House are women, I can tell you. The votes that you are sure of in your constituency, that you don't doubt, that you are sure you will get, is the vote of a woman. You know, a man, the way they are, They can talk to you in the morning, and in the afternoon is with your opponent. But if a woman gives you assurance that I'm going to vote for you, you are sure of that vote, Mr. Speaker. So I wish they could vote for themselves, because if they decide to vote for themselves, this issue of two-third gender will end. This problem will be sorted, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I want to say, let's give Madam Hannah Wendot a chance. You know, God is a God of a second chance, Mr. Speaker. Let's give her a chance. Let's see how she performs. And the power, the constitutional power of appraising cabinet secretaries is with this House, Mr. Speaker. We can summon them anytime. We can call them to answer questions. And if she does not perform, we have the constitutional mandate of impeaching. If we impeach the deputy president who was rogue, what's a minister? What's a minister? That is one afternoon session. If we impeach the rogue man
who was calling Kenyans that you are not a shareholder, you are a shareholder, you are not a member of this country, you are from Tanzania, Shungwa is from Ghana, that's what he said. If we impeach that one, what is a cabinet secretary? It's a one afternoon session. We can deal with them perpendicularly here. With one after, as many of that opinion say aye, and he has gone home. He has gone home. So let's give her a second chance. I can tell you, this lady came from a very hostile background, Mr. Speaker. You know the way Baringo is. It's a semi-arid area. She has seen many sounds of guns, Mr. Speaker, more than, music. Mr. Speaker, she has seen a lot of problems. And recently, she lost her husband. And you know what the Quran and the Bible say about widows, Mr. Speaker. Anybody who jokes with widows, in our Quran, a widow is supposed to mourn for 4 months and 10 days. She's in the 4 months and 10 days, Mr. Speaker. Unfortunately, she got an appointment in those 4 months. We have no reason other than approving her, Mr. Speaker. So let us approve her. Let us give her a chance. Let us support her. Let her apologize to the women of Kenya for the unfortunate remarks she made. And we will say hallelujah, and God will guide her, and we will have a prosperous country. Thank you very much, and may God bless all of you today. Mr. Speaker, I second. People are already holding their hands up, even those who have just walked in now. All members, I want to propose the question, which is that taking into consideration the findings of the Committee on Appointments in its 5th report on the vetting of the nominees for appointment as cabinet secretaries, laid on the table of the House today, actually yesterday, Tuesday, 15th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 152.2 of the Constitution and Section 3 and 8 of Public Appointments Parliament Approval Act Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the following persons as cabinet secretaries. 1, the Honorable Geoffrey Kiringa Ruku, the Ministry of Public Service, Human Capital Development and Special Programs. And 2, Ms. Hannah Wendot Cheptumo, with the Ministry of Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage.
What is out of order? Do you want order? Order. The member for Marakwet East, is it a point of debate or a point of order? Because I'm going to ask you on which order you're. So which standing order are you standing on?
Honorable Speaker, it's just a small issue, as you've heard from many members here. Mrs. Cheptumo, Honorable
If
Speaker,
you're going to debate,
I just want Mr.
order,
Speaker.
Order. If you're going to debate, I'll give you a chance to debate. Then you're going to have to tell me which standing order you're standing on.
Mr. Speaker, I just wanted to the leader of majority to make it clear in this House, because he said Mrs. Cheptumo, Honorable Speaker, called him or communicated this apology to the leader of majority. So, Mr. Speaker, it has to be clear if there was that communication, so that even as we make this debate, we make this debate, Honorable Speaker, knowing that the lady has already conveyed her apologies to this House.
The order. The member for Ariada, what's out of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 1 for your directions, as read with Article 152 of the Constitution, on a small but important point. Article 152 of the Constitution sub-article 3 is very clear. A cabinet secretary shall not be a member of parliament. I need your directions on at what point should a member of this house appointed to be the cabinet resign?
Because, Mr. Speaker, that point is made acute by the Honorable Geoffrey Ruku today. I think he should not have come to the House.
But by coming to the House and letting the whole world see that is part of the House, that is debating his approval, it brings into sharp focus the distinction between Parliament and the Executive. Mr. Speaker, I'd like it to be known, because it has arisen yet in respect of another nominee,
Who, as I understand, was a dual citizen, and when presented with that question, said that they will give up the citizenship of the other country. Mr. Speaker, my understanding is a pre-qualification must exist at the time of vetting, at the time of approval, and at the time of appointment, not only at appointment. Because then it means that at the point of approval, you are not qualified. Because if you say it's on a promise of subsequently resigning or subsequently relinquishing your citizenship, what happens if you don't? What happens if the president acts on the approval of the parliament without you acting? So my very small point, Mr. Speaker, and it is not about the Honorable Geoffrey Ruku, it is about guidance for this House, it is about guidance for the committees, is that if there's a qualification that is necessary, whether it's against dual citizenship, whether it's against holding a certain office, should it be at the point of vetting or should it be at the point of appointment? My remarks in respect of the Honorable Hannah Cheptumo, I will make when I get the opportunity. But I associate with the idea, I think she should just correct what she said. I sympathize with her situation though, but I will say that later. Thank you very much.
Matter. And I think I can deal with it. I don't need assistance on that matter. Okay, just 1 minute.
Mr. Speaker, this issue that has been raised by Honorable Otiende Amolo was raised in this House in the year 2015, for those of us who were here by then, when Honorable Nkaiseri was appointed as a cabinet secretary of Interior and something else. It's called Interior and what? And Prisons. Interior and National Cooperation, National Administration, Coordination. So, Mr. Speaker, that time, the Speaker then, Honorable Justin Muturi, who has now become Hivi, made a ruling, Mr. Speaker, made a ruling. Mr. Speaker, he said, when does someone assume office? That was the question that was raised here, Mr. Speaker. And it was confirmed on the floor by him that someone assumes office when he takes oath of office. When he takes oath of office, when you are elected at the constituency, you remain a member of parliament elect until you come here and then you carry the Quran or the Bible or you do affirmation and then you become now a member of parliament. So what is happening now with the Honorable Ruku is that the process of him becoming a cabinet secretary is ongoing, because the president nominates cabinet secretaries, takes them to National Assembly for approval, then appoints them now after that, because there is a ceremony of taking oath of office at state. So, Mr. Speaker, before he takes the oath of office is when he's required to resign from the other job that he's handling. That's what that speaker said then. Even though yesterday I saw him saying that CDF now is illegal, Mr. Speaker, and he was presiding here and defending CDF for 10 good years, Mr. Speaker.
We will not go there.
Mr. Speaker, I'm really worried about lawyers. Because they keep on changing their positions.
Order. And, Majority Leader, this will take 2 minutes at most. 2 minutes at most.
Honorable Speaker, I want to agree with the Leader of Minority that this is a matter that has been dealt with in the past. And the Honorable Otiende Amolo actually knows that this matter has been dealt with in the past. And in fact, my senior counsel, Otiende, is the one who has been teaching me on how to interpret the Constitution as a lawyer. And he tells me, when you read the Constitution, you don't read one part of the Constitution to the exclusion of the other. And he read for us Article 152, sub-Article 3, that a cabinet secretary shall not be a member of parliament. But 4 also says that each person appointed as a cabinet secretary assumes office by swearing or affirming faithful to the people and the Republic of Kenya upon taking oath. That is the point when someone becomes a cabinet secretary. Therefore, Honorable Ruku is not a cabinet secretary. The thing I would agree with Honorable Otiende, Honorable Ruku ought not to sit in the House, and I think it was wise of him to leave the chamber at a time when, as Honorable Junet said, you cannot skin a monkey when it's staring at you. 2, Honorable Speaker, remember this parliament, this 13th parliament, the Speaker himself was an elected senator for Bungoma County. And the same question arose, and I think the same member for Rarieda, who raised the issue, that the Honorable Speaker Moses Masika Wetangula was an elected senator, and therefore ought not to qualify for election of Speaker. And there was a decision that the Speaker made on that because he had not taken oath of office as Speaker. As Honorable Junet said, at the time, General Kaiseri was appointed Cabinet Secretary for Interior when he was a member of this House. The former Cabinet Secretary for Energy, Senator Charles Keter, was appointed as a Cabinet Secretary for Energy at the point when he was Senator for Kericho County. And therefore, you do not become a Cabinet Secretary until you are formally appointed and sworn into office. And the exclusion is if only upon appointment, not nomination. And therefore, you are right in place to vet Honorable Ruku and also consider him for appointment. He should not be in the House, and I think wise counsel prevailed on him. It's just his enthusiasm and diligence in serving the people. That is why he had appeared in the House to transact the business ahead of this business. But when we got to this business, he has kindly excused himself and gone to have a cup of tea. And I'm sure he's watching.
I don't think I need to say anything on this matter because as recent as when we passed the current Cabinet Secretary for Energy and the one for Finance, less than 4 months ago, the Speaker gave a ruling on this matter, leave alone the ones from Keseri and the other ones. We have proper precedent. Doro Botiende knows this, and I'm sure that he's addressing himself this particular matter. I will not spend energy on this matter. The two ladies, gentleman and lady, are rightly in the House, rightly being debated in full the House, and they will do what's needful in case this House approves him. That's what I would make as well on this matter. So I don't want us to spend so much time on this matter. If you want to speak on this matter, don't raise a point of order. I won't allow any going forward. We'll debate and make a decision either way. The member for Baringo North.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to support the approval of the two cabinet secretaries, nominees. Mr. Speaker, at least for some time, I have known Honorable Ruku as a member of parliament from Baringo North. So, Speaker, that's a gentleman that I have known for some time, and he, as said by the majority leader, I think Honorable Ruku has been very good defender of government, very good defender of policies that come before us, and sometimes even during times of trouble in this House, Honorable Ruku stands tall to protect us from aggression. So, Speaker, Han comes from my constituency, and she comes from one of the ravaged areas by banditry. And I have known her before she married the late Honorable Senator of Baringo. So, Speaker, this is a very diligent woman. This is a woman that can deliver on a mandate. So, Speaker, it's only unfortunate that she caught shocks of facing members of parliament. And in the process made statements that in my own opinion, was not right, so was not good for this country. But Mr. Speaker, as said by the majority leader, I humbly request you, members of parliament, that find favor to forgive her in your hearts. She is a good person to become the cabinet secretary for gender. Kindly find favor. Find favor because I have known her for some time, and that is not what she is. And if she makes that, or she has made that public apology, even me as a member of parliament that comes from that area, on her behalf, I humbly request you, kindly forgive her. I also want to apologize to say that was wrong and it should never happen again
For someone who would want to take that particular position, who shall protect the interests of both gender, the female and the male. Mr. Speaker, I am very sorry for what happened.
And I know she will not, that is not our behavior. So Speaker, so I have the ability, she has the ability to run the ministry. For the many years that she has been able to run the law firm of Jeptuma and Company Advocates when Jeptuma was busy in politics. So Speaker, that woman stood firm in the family. And I want to thank the President for finding favor to appoint Ann Jeptuma to bring Ann Jeptuma as nominee for Cabinet Secretary for Gender. So Speaker, that not as she serves the people of Kenya. So Speaker, it is also a way that the President is able to say that the people of Baringo who lost a senator recently 1 month ago, and this lady has been reeling in pain, and it is only good that we find favor to give her an opportunity to serve as a cabinet secretary for this country. So, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the people of Baringo North, I want to thank the President and request these members of parliament with a lot of humility that this lady is still recovering from the loss of her husband. Yes, the Senator Jeptuma passed on. So let us not add another pain to the children and that family. Kindly forgive. I'm asking you, I'm one of your colleagues. Find favor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Farah Malim.
Mr. Speaker, I join my colleagues also in supporting this motion. Ruku has been a member of this parliament for the last 2.5 years. And me and you have sat on that chair many times, and we know how effective a debater he was. And he has no hypocrisy around himself. When he supports an idea, he supports it and he explains it. I've been with him on a number of occasions on media houses, and I really liked how he defended what he believed in. So for Ruku, let us, and on the other bit, you've already made your point straight, that he only becomes a minister, and that's the time when he's not supposed to be an MP. Must resign before that. And that is on taking the oath of office. As of the lady, Madam Wendot, I have served in this house with a husband, the late Senator Jeptuma, one of the finest legislators I've had an opportunity to serve with myself. Mr. Speaker, in my faith, our prophet was asked one time, and I want my friends from the other side to listen to this. Our prophet was asked, who has a right over me in as far as my parents are concerned? And the prophet said, your mother. And the same person said, who is next? And the prophet said, your mother. And then he said, who is third? Our prophet, alayhi salatu wasalam, said, your mother. And then at the fourth time is when he said, your father. I kiss my mother's feet every morning when I come from home. She's still alive. She's about 90. And I'm thanking God that she's still around. Let us respect our lady folks. Whatever has happened, it's a small thing. Somebody has already apologized on her behalf. And I think we support the lady. And let us also give her all the support we can because of the kind of situation we're all in now. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Marsabit.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. And as I stand, I want to say that I support this motion of the appointee, the Cabinet Secretary, and also to serve the government. I have no doubt that Honorable Ruku will perform even in his new docket of being the CS of Ministry of Public Service, Human Capital Development, and Special Program. Mine is just to tell him as he goes there, he should consider putting into consideration the entire county, the entire country should have a representation of the face of Kenya in every docket. I will be able to talk to him when he gets to the office, but I have no doubt that he will represent us well and also treat the members of parliament very well. Most of the time, Honorable Speaker, you go to these offices and you don't even get any chance to meet the CS or even the PS, and yet we work very hard for them to succeed in their offices. The idea of working with the government, I'm sure, I have no doubt. I tell him, please represent our people well, give your best to the government, and I'm sure God will bless his work. On Madam Anna Wendeto Cheptumo, Honorable Speaker, I watched her as she was doing the interview, and she did extremely well. She is a professional. She answered all the questions very well, and she presented herself very well and represented her people in a good way. Honorable Speaker, I want to congratulate her because of the courage that she demonstrated, putting into consideration that in less than a month's time, she lost her husband after having gone through all the challenges that she went through. And I know she will not embarrass us. She will be there for women. She will stand and serve the women of this country in the best possible way. About what she said that touched everybody's heart, and especially the mothers, the people who have lost their daughters or friends in a way. Honorable Speaker, I know the statement did not go well with many of us, but we are all human beings. And that is why today I stand to request and plead with all the women of this country to forgive Hannah Wendeto Cheptumo, because I'm sure maybe she did not understand the context that we have taken her in, and she will be able to serve our daughters well. Let us forgive her. Our God is a God of second chance. And also the Bible tells us, forgive each other. So let us forgive her. For those people who may have lost their daughters, their relatives, who feel bad about the statement, I know that it hurts, but let us forgive this great lady and give her another chance. Honorable Speaker, my message to Mrs. Cheptumo is, yes, you are coming in to this docket after we have waited to have the CS for gender for some months. Expectation is quite high. Women are there eagerly waiting for your performance. Please give your best to the nation. Convince us that you are able to carry the responsibility that we are given. And remember that our women, our young girls are facing a lot of challenges, and stand up for them, defend their rights. Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I support.
Member for Western Gishu. Just a minute. Honorable Meli, I already said I will not give any point of order because you want to debate. We are not going to allow you to debate using a point of order. Go. What is it?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Reading the mood of the House, may the mover be called to reply. On standing order 95. Yes.
On order members. The honorable member for Singishu, take your seat. Take your seat. On this occasion, as members, you would know that the speaker is allowed that if a point of order like the one raised now would undermine members' rights to contribute, I would rule it out of order. So a few members will contribute, then we'll do what he wants us to do. The member for Singishu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity to contribute to this nominations debate. First, I want to go on record to put this clearly. I support the candidature and the approval of the Honorable Hannah Wendot Cheptumo, but with just a rider that we request her to apologize to the women of Kenya, because that is indeed a very, very careless statement. There is nothing wrong with making a mistake, but you can correct it by following it with an apology. She can do a public apology on the social media, she can do it in the dailies or in a press statement. But that is the minimum we expect, because I think it would be wrong for us as women leaders, and especially someone like me who has been in the women's movement for a long time, to trivialize those statements and not say anything about it. We owe it to the women of this country, and we also owe to take seriously the issues of femicide, which is almost becoming a national problem. So it is important, because we do not want to look like we are ignoring it. Because we also need to make sure that the next person, in their own statements, when they are speaking, don't make the same careless mistake. So yes, I support her approval, and I also support that of Honorable Ruku, who has been my desk mate there while he was in Bunge. I also approve that. And even as I say this, the Honorable Wendot Cheptumo is somebody personally known to me. Not only was her late husband my classmate, but also she was my student at the University of Nairobi when she came to study law. So yes, she's known to me. But it would be wrong also for me, as having been her teacher, not to say that what she said was unfortunate. So that is all I have to say. Thank you.
I'm going to give 4 more. And if you took as little time as the Honorable Deputy Speaker has done, then we'll have more of you speaking. Take 2 minutes at most, and then we can proceed. The Honorable Zamzam, you're next in the line.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi nachukua fursa hii pia kuwapongeza hawa mawaziri ambao wameteuliwa wawili, ndugu yetu Geoffrey Ruku ambaye alikuwa ni mbunge mwenzetu hapa ndani ya bunge. Mheshimiwa Spika, ama kwa hakika tutaweza kumiss sana ndugu yetu Ruku, kwa sababu alikuwa ni mbunge ambaye ameweka ameweka sub-county yake mbele. Mheshimiwa Spika, ilikuwa anashughulika sana na masuala mengi, ameleta bills nyingi, ameleta statements, na mimi nina imani kuwa watu wake pia hata kule mashinani watakuwa wanamkosa sana, kwa sababu alikuwa ni kiongozi mchapakazi. Ila ushauri wangu kwa ndugu yangu Ruku ni kuwa mwenzako ambaye ametoka pale aliingia, tukamuingiza vizuri, akafanya kiburi. Na wewe sisi tunakuomba, umekuwa hapa na sisi, unaelewa matatizo ya Wakenya, ukiingia pale fanya heshima, fanya adabu, na ikiwa itatokea kwa umetoka, utoke pia kwa heshima ambayo umeingia nayo, kwa sababu inatamausha sana ikiwa waziri amechaguliwa na ameingia katika serikali. Ndio maana tunasema siri kali. Lazima siri ambazo ziko kule wewe uziache kule hata kama unatoka. Ni aibu kuwa waziri ambaye alikuwa anaheshimika anaweza kutoka nje akaanza kuelezea mambo ambaye hakuweza kutuambia akiwa katika uwaziri. Kwa hiyo ndugu yangu Ruku, najua wewe ni mchapakazi, najua unaheshima, eka matakwa ya Wakenya mbele, fanya kazi kwa bidii na Mwenyezi Mungu akutangulie mbele. Nikija kwa dadangu Ann Cheptumo, Mheshimiwa Spika, huyu ni mama ambaye ameingia kwenye ujane. Ni mama ambaye ametoka kwenye misukosuko. Najua amefanya makosa mahali kwa kutoa matamshi yale, lakini kama mama Mombasa County namuombea pia msamaha hapa, kama mama ambaye anaelewa wajane wanafuatia matatizo gani. Mimi kitu nitamwambia, hii wizara yetu tumekawia muda mrefu sana kupata waziri. Na wewe unaingia, dada yetu Anne Cheptumo, angalia masala ya wanawake, femicide, mambo ya gender based violence yamekuwa donda sugu katika taifa hili. Na wewe kama mama, tunataka utoe mwelekeo ulioko mzuri. Najua katika docket yako tuna PS ambaye ni Anne Wang'ombe, anafanya kazi nzuri sana. Na pengine kama mama haelewi kwa sababu ni mambo ambayo amekuja kuyapata, yule mdogo wake aweza kumuonyesha hapa na pale akaelewa. Na kama alivyosema mwalimu wake dada yetu hapa Gladys Sholei, mwalimu wako dadangu Anne Cheptumo amekuambia omba msamaha kwa akina mama wa Kenya, omba msamaha kwa Kenya kwa sababu matamshi ambayo uliyatoa yalikuwa si matamshi mazuri. Lakini hata hivyo haimaanishi kuwa wewe hauwezi kufanya kazi. Kama nilivyokuona katika masala mengine yote, umejibu vizuri, umefocus vizuri, na nina imani ukija kwetu sisi kina mama 47 utatushika mkono ili tuweze kupigana na masala ambayo yanamaliza kina mama katika taifa hili. Kina mama wamekufa wengi, tumepata wengine wametupwa kwenye mashimo, watoto wetu wameuliwa katika BNB. Sio wote ambao wamekwenda kule wameenda kutafuta pesa kama ulivyosema, hapana. Wengine hata ni wachumba, walikuwa wanajuana, lakini mtu ameingia tu ubaya katika moyo wake akafanya hivyo. Kwa hiyo mimi nakupongeza na nasema mama, karibu tufanye kazi pamoja, na Mwenyezi Mungu akuongoze, na pole sana kwa msiba uliokupata. Na pia hii kazi imekuja wakati ambapo bado unaomboleza, ila nakuombea Mungu akupe ujasiri uweze kufanya kazi. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Thank you. Member for Elders. 2 minutes please. There's a mic next to you. Use the one next to you.
Mr. Speaker, thank you so much. Mr. Speaker, I have known the Cheptumos in pursuant to Standing Order 90. They have acted for me long before they joined politics, so I know Hannah, and I have also known the late senator. These are people that anybody can vouch for. Extremely honest, pragmatic, and at times what the lady did yesterday has different interpretations, but I think we'll just say it was a slip of the tongue. And I'm sure that is not the Hannah that I know. The Speaker, having said this, there's a reason why the framers of the current constitution introduced stages in the approval process. In the old constitution, you are an institute lawyer. Individuals used to be just appointed by the president, meaning they lacked public interaction, they lacked that representation, they lacked that image of being the interface between the presidency and the public. And therefore, going through this, the president nominates, it's submitted to the House, it goes through vetting, it comes back to the House for approval. That itself clearly amplifies the persona of that particular individual. And therefore, I have no doubt in my mind, Hannah is going to serve everybody. I have total faith in her. I've interacted with them, and I believe she is the right person for this job. And therefore, I support her approval. The second, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Ruku, in my definition of a member of parliament, first of all, I see him as a self-made politician. Mr. Speaker, you know, and I think in those categories are yourself, myself, the Honorable Ruku, and many others. Because the day when he came to this house, I saw a young man who is determined to create an independent political path for himself. And that's a very rare quality. And therefore, in Ruku, I see somebody who is open, brave, courageous, decisive, and who has been working like a second timer or a third timer. And therefore, Mr. Ruku, wherever you come from, wherever now, whichever position right now, this position that you have been assigned, please keep on with that courage, serve the Kenyan people diligently, serve the president, work for the image of the Republic of Kenya, and I have no doubt in my mind you have a promising future in our public affairs. And finally, Mr. Speaker, we even as members of parliament, our work is not just to be a conveyor belt. We give these people jobs. But equally, we are also supposed to oversight them. If they make mistakes, and I'm sure the leader of majority has alluded to this many times, we can invoke the necessary articles of our constitution and either cite them for contempt, either impeach them, or even deal with them through our relevant committees. And therefore, our work should not end there. This is just the beginning. And I hope once we approve They will not assume that they have been given this job for eternity. We will be there, we will be following you, we will hold you accountable. Serve the Kenyan people without fear, without favor. Serve the president. Serve the community so that everybody appreciates. And to the lady, Mr. Speaker, she's not going to serve the ladies alone. The word gender encompasses both sides. And therefore, to the ladies who say the 47 women MPs are pana, it's for all of us. That will be our minister. And therefore, I support the approval. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The member for Baringo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I also want to put my word in congratulating these nominees of cabinet secretaries, starting with the Honorable Ruku, who is our colleague. And I must say, I have known and worked with Honorable Ruku before we all came to Parliament. I served with him when I was a volunteer in URP and all the way in Jubilee and TNA at that time. And very true, Honorable Ruku has proven to be a self-made politician, and he has shown a lot of dedication, specifically when he's delivering matters for Wananchi, and I have a lot of confidence that he's going to do a lot for this government and the people of Kenya, specifically in public service, where all Kenyans need the service. It will give us a proper direction and guidance. Also, he has contributed so much in the floor in most of the reforms that is going to help the people of Kenya and government in general. And for that, I want to congratulate him so much. Secondly, I want to congratulate also my constituent, who is Anna Wendot Cheptumo, for being nominated as a Gender, Culture and Arts and Heritage, CS. On behalf of Baringo, I must say we are glad and thank the President for giving us this opportunity for one of us to serve the people of Kenya. And for sure, I don't want to belabor what most members have talked about, Honorable Anna Cheptumo, that she is a very capable and is able to do this work and the CS. And I want to also congratulate her because the appearance, from her appearance, she was very confident. She was able to elaborate and give, that confidence that is going to do this work. And she's very able, Mr. Speaker. If you look at all the parameters, our qualification speaks for herself. And I want to say, for the utterance that she'd make on behalf of Baringo and all the leadership, I also want to say sorry. And we will support, I specifically going to support her and conditionally help her, because this gender ministry deals with emotional matters, very psychological issues, and it's not easy. And leadership is very transient, and we are also learning on the process. Otherwise, I want to say thank you, and thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable Member for Murwa Dikir.
Thank you, Speaker, for allowing me also to weigh in on this issue of nominees to the cabinet position. Mr. Speaker, I will not belabor so much because I know both the candidates. I know Mheshimiwa Ruku, who has been with us here, has been standing tall with us and with his house. He has also been articulating several issues. He's a first-time member to this house, Mr. Speaker, but I will tell you, he has tabled so many bills in this house, Mr. Speaker. He has been, a very good debater and astute member. So, Mr. Speaker, I just don't want to say much about him. I will support him. Mr. Speaker, on the issue of Mrs. Wendot Cheptumo, I would also want to say, Mr. Speaker, the last time we had such a position in this house, Mr. Speaker, we sacrificed a lady who had been also proposed for the same position. Mr. Speaker, in our culture, lightning doesn't strike twice. So we don't want to strike this lady just like we struck the other lady who was supposed to have held this position the last time, Mr. Speaker, when it was brought before this house. So whichever thing she said, all of us, in our culture also we say, ng'ombe inateleza na iko na miguu nne. How about binadamu? So as also, we do mistakes. There's no one who is clean in this house, including myself. We are all mistakes. We all make mistakes. And that is why Jesus came to this earth. And he went back. He died before he even corrected all the mistakes. So, Mr. Speaker, I support and I'm only encouraging her to ensure that she does well, she performs well, she doesn't let down this nation, she performs as per the Constitution, and also respect this state. Mr. Speaker, lastly, even when we are passing or we are voting for these 2 cabinet secretaries, one thing that we must state clearly, Mr. Speaker, is that that position is meant to serve the nation, the people of this country, not an individual. Respect the Constitution, respect the people of this country. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Minority Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to take this opportunity to just thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak on the issue of the 2 CS nominees. Mr. Speaker, I'll speak very briefly on Honorable Ruku. We have worked with him here in Parliament. He's very hardworking. Within the shortest time that he's been here, he's brought in very many bills and shows just how hardworking it is. Mr. Speaker, the only thing I would want to say in relation to Honorable Ruku is that in relation to the bills that is brought, it shows a very narrow mind in terms of democratic issues. And I said it when we were doing the vetting, and I want to encourage him to take a paradigm shift, a mental paradigm shift, and be more embracive of what the Constitution say and have a broader framework in terms of democracy and the rule of law. Mr. Speaker, otherwise I think is fit for that job. Mr. Speaker, I want to speak to the issue of Honorable Anna, that everybody has spoken to, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I sat actually in the vetting. And one of the things that was very clear is that she's a very good lawyer, from what was even appearing in her CV. Mr. Speaker, she is very confident as a person. Mr. Speaker, from actually her history, you can see she's a person who seeks to improve herself. She studied law at a very late time in life. And so, Mr. Speaker, you can see she's a very committed person. And Mr. Speaker, you can see she's also very confident and she's given to learning. Mr. Speaker, I want to just speak to the issue that everybody has spoken to, which is the issue of what she said. And Mr. Speaker, it is very unfortunate because her statement seemed to imply that she was victim blaming. And I am very happy, and I want to state to the House that I've actually seen in her Twitter handle that she has actually apologized. Because the members are asking her to apologize, she has actually apologized, and I confirm that she has apologized. And Mr. Speaker, I just want to say that beyond her apology, we are dealing with a bigger issue. And Mr. Speaker, the bigger issue that for me is that she's also a victim of societal socialization. And Mr. Speaker, that is why every time you have a person coming for gender, there's always an issue. And I am glad that she's apologized, but that she needs to go further and notice that she needs capacity building. And Mr. Speaker, I personally, because I'm an expert in that area, I am willing to handhold and help her so that she can be able to serve Kenyans better. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate that this is the ministry that 3 times we have actually rejected the CSS in a very short time. And since July, it has been without a substantive CS, Mr. Speaker. The challenge goes back to the appointing authority, that we need to take this ministry seriously, and that we don't just use it as a means of filling up slots. I'm not saying this woman is incompetent. I've said she's actually very competent as a lawyer. But Mr. Speaker, when we want to give somebody some added responsibilities, we need to think more seriously about that. Otherwise, she's apologized. Let her also learn the way she did law late. Let her take courses on gender so that she's able to do. Otherwise, the women MPs are here and will be willing to handhold I support Mr. Speaker.
Members, I notice so much into this matter, but we have to close this matter. So I'll give the member for Kilgoris, and we'll close with the member for Kilifi North.
Mr. Speaker, yeah, indeed, I'll be brief because I want to support the appointment of Honorable Geoffrey Ruku because, Mr. Speaker, I know him very well. We have served together in the Delegated Legislation Committee, and he's a very, very active member of that committee. A lot of his contributions in that committee. Mr. Speaker, we had an opportunity to travel with Honorable Ruku to Rwanda after the sea mess. And I know, Mr. Speaker, from that he was a very ardent supporter of he's a very ardent supporter of the Kenya Kwanza government, because he's a very ardent supporter of the Kenya Kwanza government, because at that time, Mr. Speaker, you remember we voted no, and when everybody was calling him and berating him for voting in favor of the finance bill, because he could not enjoy the Rwandese trip the way we did, and he did not contribute a lot. But he is a strong supporter of this house too. He has moved many motions. He is a strong supporter of this house too. He has moved many motions, and he's an ardent attendant of the sessions of this house. Mr. Speaker, I hope the only thing that Honorable Ruku will of course keep in mind is that of course he carries the Miraa tag on him. He is also a strong supporter of the Muguka and Miraa trade. And I hope that he leaves that on the door so that he can serve the public that does not take Muguka. But he's going to be a good minister. He's a strong person. I have listened to Ms. Honorable Maclap and other people defending Hannah Cheptumo. Mr. Speaker, I don't know Hannah Cheptumo, but I watched her on TV, and I think, Mr. Speaker, that the good qualities which have been stated by the leader of majority about Hannah Cheptumo were not easily visible from what she was saying on TV. You could not judge her good qualities by listening to her on TV. Maybe those qualities were very well concealed. And I only understand from both Mr. Honorable Maclap and my own leader, Minority Whip, that we have to pass this thing on sympathy because she's a widow and that she has recently suffered and so on. But we must accept, honorable members, that in future we should not come to the House and say that we appoint ministers on sympathy. We must.
What the Honorable Milu just spoken? What is out of order? What is out of order? And the Honorable Sunguli, you need to finalize.
I finalize.
Thank you.
What is out
of
order?
Thank you. The honorable member is actually a very senior member, and he knows that when I'm on a point of order, he has to sit down.
Unless I got him wrong, Mr. Speaker, he actually just said that the minority whip has said that we pass this lady on. And I've also said she needs to have capacity building. I've not talked about her husband and sympathy. Yes, I do see a widow. And at a private level, yes, I would support her on that, privately. Thank you.
Not on the floor of the House. So he needs to correct that. It's not correct. I've not said that.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I actually need to correct if I said minority whip, because I meant minority leader, because that is, I was referring to the Honorable Junette. And you know, minority whip is now my boss, and I really don't want to clash with her in any way. So, Mr. Speaker, I rest my case because at any rate, I am in support.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I support this very important motion. I would like to thank the committee, Honorable Speaker. They did a wonderful job. We saw them pushing the candidates very hard and asking very important questions. Honorable Speaker, for the Honorable Hannah Wendot, I got to know her in the 11th Parliament because of her career as a lawyer. She is extremely hardworking. She is compassionate. And she is going to be a very good cabinet secretary if approved by this House. She has been supporting widows outside this House. She has been supporting boys and girls, Honorable Speaker, in church. And she has been a mentor for both genders. And I believe that she's going to do a very good job. She answered her questions very well. And even for the statement that is being mentioned, Honorable Speaker, I must say that Honorable Hannah Cheptumo is not that way. Sitting on that hot seat, Honorable Speaker, is not easy. And someone can have a slip of the tongue. She is going to defend those girls that we are talking about, our children. She's going to collaborate with the ministries, the relevant ministries, including the Ministry of Interior, where she must work very closely with, and she'll do a wonderful job. I ask the House to have confidence in Mrs. Cheptumo. Honorable Speaker, concerning the Honorable Roko, our colleague, he is a wonderful man. He is outspoken, and he takes time to read. Honorable Speaker, at times when Mr. Speaker gives us a chance to sit where you are seated, Mr. Speaker, we get a chance to understand the Honorable Roko better than other members. When you require any form of support, seated in your position, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Roko is always there, Mr. Speaker, and especially in the Committee of the Whole House, where when the person running the Committee of the Whole House requires support of a member who has read and understood a bill, the Honorable Roko is always there. He is highly educated, very compassionate, and loud. I believe that public service requires a person who can speak. So, Honorable Speaker, I support both our candidates, and thank you very much for giving me a chance to speak.
Thank you. Honorable Bovaya.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to first congratulate the Committee on Appointments for a good job done. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, I would like to speak about the Honorable Jeffrey Ruku, the nominee for the State Department for Public Service. Honorable Speaker, one of the very key characteristics of Honorable Ruku is that he's always there. And that's very important. For you to succeed, you have to show up. You have to be there. And Honorable Ruku always shows up. And that's why most of the time you find him in this house doing his job. I'm sure when he goes to the ministry, he'll do a good job. But Honorable Speaker, I would like to speak about Hannah Wedot Cheptumo. Honorable Speaker, I want to say this. She has a big docket: gender, arts, culture, and heritage. The focus has only been on the gender aspect, but we have the other three aspects for which I am very sure she'll be capable to ensure that the youth in this country benefit from their arts, they benefit from their talent, they benefit from their performances. Honorable Speaker, the issue of heritage, many countries in this world profit immensely from their heritage. But for many years in this country, for Jesus, and we have the opportunity of having UNESCO protected areas in this country, which have never been exploited for tourism or otherwise. I want to urge Wandeto, when she is actually approved, to ensure that the heritage sites we have in this country are exploited for the benefit of this country. The young people, their music, their videos, their talents are actually used. For a long time, the young people have been left. But she has. Now we have a lady, a mother, a lawyer, a mentor, a person of high-level integrity who, Mr. Speaker, I believe will help the young people in this country achieve their dreams. Honorable Speaker, with those remarks, I support the confirmation of Honorable Roko and the Honorable Wandeto Cheptumo. I thank you, Honorable Speaker. And put the vote now.
The member for Chuka Gamangombe, what is out of order?
Honorable Speaker, I stand on a point of order according to 95A of our standing orders, Mr. Speaker. Having listened to the debate here, members, about the two CSAs and leading the mood of the House, Mr. Speaker, and having listened to what members have said about Mrs. Anna Wadot, who is Cheptumo, and Roko, who is my neighbor and a friend, and a neighboring constituency, Adambele, for the people I represent, or people of Bere, also from my constituency. And I think, Mr. Speaker, the mood of the House is we call the mover to reply, because we accept that these two people are well qualified to serve as CSS in this country, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Is it the move of the House that the move of God wants to reply? Thank you. The mover.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me to take this opportunity as I reply
to thank all the members who have contributed, Honorable Speaker. And as I had stated earlier, Honorable Speaker, on Hannah Wendot's apology, indeed, she did tender an apology on the 14th of April, and I think that was the same day of the vetting. And on her handle at Hannah W. Cheptumo, she says that first and foremost, I sincerely apologize for this statement and wholly withdraw it. No woman deserves to be killed under any circumstances. And the apology is there on the X handle. Kenyans can be able to read. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, allow me to thank the members for the support that they have expressed for these two nominees. And we congratulate them and ask them, as they get into public office, to serve with the dedication and
the members at the bar
that they have been
bar,
serving in their other capacities, Honorable Speaker, and I beg to reply. If the Honorable member at the door can just take a seat, I beg to reply.
Honorable members, thank you so much. I now want to put the question so that this man is ready one way or the other. Order. Order. The question is that the Honorable Dugu, I made a declaration this morning that when they speak on his or her feet, freeze means you keep quiet. The question is that taking into consideration the findings of the Committee on Appointments in its 5th report on the vetting of the nominees for appointment as cabinet secretaries, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 15th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 152(2) of the Constitution and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Act Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the following persons as cabinet secretaries. 1, the Honorable Geoffrey Kiringa Ruku to the Ministry of Public Service, Human Capital Development and Special Programs, and 2, Ms. Hannah Wendot Cheptumo to the Ministry of Gender, Culture, the Arts, and Heritage. Will, as a member of that opinion, say aye? Aye. Will those of that opinion say nay? The ayes have it. The other members, we will spend the next few minutes. We have 4 members who had statements. We skip them. So we go back to order number 7 quickly. And we start with the member. Let's call the order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
The member for Isiolo County. The member for Isiolo County.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Order. Call for me, leader. Proceed.
Honorable Speaker, I rise to request for a statement regarding salary enhancement for teachers in municipality areas in Isiolo County. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education regarding the implementation status of enhanced salary packages for teachers within Isiolo municipality. Honorable Speaker, following the 2021 collective bargaining agreement signed by the Teachers Service Commission, it was agreed that teachers working in municipalities will receive increased house allowances. In 2018, it was officially recognized as a municipality. However, to date, teachers serving within its jurisdiction have not received the salary increment as stipulated in the CBA. This delay has adversely impacted their motivation and overall well-being, potentially undermining the quality of education. Honorable Speaker, it is against this backdrop that I request the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education to appraise the House on the following. 1, the current status of the implementation of enhanced salaries.
Order. Go ahead.
One, the current status of the implementation of enhanced salaries and allowances for the teachers in Isiolo municipality. And two, measures the Commission is undertaking to ensure timely and fair remuneration for teachers in gazetted municipalities, including their outstanding payments in 2018 and the timeline for implementation. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
You know, the member for Tinderet, this question, you're the chairman of the Committee on Education.
Yes.
How long will it take to respond to this matter?
In 2 weeks' time, Honorable Speaker.
The member for Isiolo County, follow up with the member 2 weeks. The next one is by the Honorable Rashid Benzimba.
Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee on Education on the criteria for recognition and equation of certificates and diplomas obtained from schools offering international curricula in the country. Honorable Speaker, there exist two curricula in the Kenya education system, the international curricula and the CBC, which replaced the former 844 curriculum. International curricula are recognized by the world-based universities and employers, giving students a wide range of options in their education career. However, students who complete their studies under the international curriculum often face challenges seeking admission to local university or employment in the public sector due to restrictive guidelines set by the Kenya National Examination Council. Honorable Speaker, one of the core functions of the Kenya National Examination Council is to carry out equation of certificates and diplomas issued by the credible examining boards. However, the guidelines published by Council on 31st May 2024 stipulate that institutional-based certificates or courses, whether local or international, similar to those offered by NEC, are not equitable. Currently, over 11,000 students are enrolled in various institutions offering international curricula in the country. This policy effectively bars these students from admission to local university and from employment within the public sector.
Order members, the Honorable Rashid Benziba should be heard in silence. We are not even able to hear what he's saying. Please proceed.
Solely due to the lack of an equivalent certification. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education on the following. One, the reason for the inordinate delay by NEC in formulating guidelines on equations of certificate or diplomas obtained from schools offering international curriculum within the country. Two, measures undertaken by the Ministry of Education to facilitate the equation of certificates and diplomas obtained from the international school in the country, thereby allowing these students access local university admission and public sector employment opportunities. Three, action taken by the Ministry of Education to address the challenges faced by students of international curricula who are impacted by NEC policies. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. That statement is referred to the Departmental Committee on Education. Chairman Education, Honorable Meli, when will you be able to respond to this statement?
Yes, in 2 weeks' time, Madam Speaker.
In 2 weeks, thank you. Next. The Honorable Abdul Haro, member for Madera South. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I stand to request for a statement regarding status of upgrading Elwak Power Station with a hybrid solar system. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy regarding the status of retrofitting the Elwak diesel-powered off-grid power station with a hybrid solar photovoltaic system. Honorable Speaker, Elwak Town is the largest town in Mandera County with a steadily growing population and a rising demand for electricity to support domestic, business, and public utility needs. In order to enhance electricity access in areas far from the national grid, the Kenya Power, KPLC, commissioned diesel-powered off-grid stations in remote regions, including the Elwak off-grid station in 2008. However, this diesel-only model has become unreliable, unsustainable, and costly due to frequent generator breakdowns, high fuel costs, and the rising electricity demand. To address the issue, a hybridization project was initiated in 2016 to retrofit the Elwak station with a solar photovoltaic system in combination with the existing diesel setup. Although the project is nearly at 80% completion, work has stalled since July 2024 due to failure by KPLC to meet the donor condition of onboarding a consultant to assess the work done in order to facilitate payment for the contract. Currently, Elwak is facing the worst power outage since the inception of its electricity supply, and there is need to resolve the issue, restore the grid to its full capacity, and fast-track completion of the hybridization project. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Energy on the following. A, steps that the Ministry of Energy is taking to restore Elwak off-grid power station to its required operational capacity of 600 kilowatts to address power outages. B, reasons for the prolonged delay by KPLC in procuring and onboarding a consultant, including status of onboarding the consultant as required by the donor. C, report on the details of monthly diesel fuel supply requirements for the off-grid stations located in Elwak, Takaba, Banisa, Ramu, Lafe, and Mandera towns, and the KPLC operating costs for the Elwak power station from 2017 to 2024, and D, the status of the hybridization project of Elwak off-grid power station, including specific timelines for completion of the remaining part of the project, deviation in timelines from the originally projected completion date, and the cost implications, if any. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you very much. That statement is referred to the Departmental Committee on Energy. Chair, I understand that the chair is out on official business. Is the vice chair in? In the absence of the vice chair, any member of that committee? Honorable Elisha? Honorable Elisha? Yeah. I'm told that you're a senior member of this energy committee. When are you going to give a response to this statement? Are you able to undertake anything on behalf of your chair?
Madam Speaker, let me undertake that we'll reply on the statement in maximum 2 weeks.
2 weeks maximum. Thank you very much. Next, the Honorable Ongondo Were, MP Kaspul.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In pursuant to the provision of Standing Order 44.2c, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Department Committee of Environment, Forestry, and Mining regarding indiscriminate and illegal mining activities in Kowedi location, Kaspul constituency. Honorable Speaker, there are arising cases of miners in Kowedi location engaging in unregulated mining activities that endangers the residents by leaving behind deeply excavated trenches and boreholes, some extending to the depth of over 150 feet. This hazardous excavation poses significant safety risk to livestock and residents, particularly to children, and has resulted into a number of fatalities. Furthermore, the use of highly toxic substances such as mercury in mineral extraction process not only contaminates water sources, posing a severe health risk to residents, but it's also detrimental to the environment. This is in violation of the provision of the Environmental Management and Coordination Act, CAP 387, and the Minamato Convention on Mercury, to which Kenya is a signatory. These dire environmental and safety situations call for stricter enforcement of compliance with environmental regulations in order to guarantee public safety and conserve the environment. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forest and Mining on the following. Roman 1, measures put in place to enforce compliance with the provision of the Mining Act, Cap 306, and the Environmental Management and Coordination Act, Cap 387, on regulation of mining activities in Kowidi location to safeguard the environmental and public safety. Roman 2, the immediate and long-term actions being undertaken to mitigate environmental degradation, including compelling miners to refill deep trenches and addressing the dry up of local wells. Roman 3, a list of registered and licensed gold mining companies operating in Kasipul constituency and Homa Bay County, their compliance status, the revenue collected by the government from the activities in the last 5 years, and the share allocated to the devolved government. Roman 4, confirmation of whether families who lost their kin in various mining activities will receive compensation, and if so, the proposed compensation structure, given that in most instances the deceased were breadwinners in their respective families. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. That statement is referred to the Departmental Committee on Environment, Forestry and Mining. Is the chair in the House? Is the vice chair in the House? Any member of that committee? In the absence of the member, I would like to pass this to the Honorable Naomi Wako. When can the member for Kasipul get a response to this statement?
Since we are going on recess in 2 weeks' time, I promise the chair will work hard, and 2 weeks after recess. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next order.
Order number 14, special motion, consideration of a nominee for appointment as Principal Secretary, State Department for East African Community Affairs.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that, taking into consideration the findings of the Department Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations in its report on the approval hearing of a nominee for appointment as Principal Secretary laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 15 April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 1553B of the Constitution and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of Dr. Caroline Wanjuru.
But it's okay. Do I have to go back to that? But is he the chair? He's the chair, right? I would like to first of all confirm that the chairperson, remember you continued before I called, that you are the chairperson, Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations. True. This is a very important motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I am the Vice Chair of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations, and I'm doing it on behalf of the Chair, who is away on other official matters.
Thank you. You may now proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me start again. I beg to move that, taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations in its report on the approval hearing of a nominee for appointment as Principal Secretary, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 15th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 1553B of the Constitution and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of Dr. Caroline Wanjuru Karugu as Principal Secretary, State Department of East African Community Affairs. Honorable Speaker, in the spirit of public accountability and constitutional fidelity, and guided by the wisdom of our father, Julius Nyerere, who once said, Leadership is not about power, it's about responsibility. The Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations undertook the solemn task of vetting a nominee destined to serve at the fulcrum of Kenya's regional engagement within the East African community. Honorable Speaker, in this regard and pursuant to Article 132(2)(e) of the Constitution of Kenya and in accordance with Section 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act Cap 7F, His Excellency the President transmitted to the National Assembly the nomination of Dr. Caroline Karugu, East African Community Affairs. In keeping with established parliamentary procedures, the Honorable Speaker, acting under Standing Orders 42(2), 45(1), and 2165F, duly referred the nomination of the individual to this committee for vetting and reporting. Honorable Speaker, in examining the nominee, the committee was guided not only by legal status, but the conscious and public expectation, fully aware that the words of Thabo Mbeki, which I quote, "The people of Africa are not indifferent to good governance. They are hungry for it." Thus, those who seek to serve must be judged not by their promise, but by their preparations, their record, and their vision. The committee's vetting exercise was conducted in a public forum anchored in the principle of Chapter 6 of the Constitution and the Public Appointments Act, the Public Service Commission Act, and the Leadership and Integrity Act, and focused on assessing the nominees' academic credentials, professional experience, leadership, vision, moral standing, and public acceptability. Honorable Speaker, on academic grounding, the committee noted that Dr. Karugu holds a doctorate of business administration, a global executive master's in business administration, strategy, a postgraduate certificate in small and medium business management, and a bachelor's of commerce. Dr. Karugu's academic and professional portfolio demonstrates intellectual rigor and technical competence and satisfies the requirements of sections 47(2) of the Public Service Commission Act. Honorable Speaker, these qualifications are not just academic achievements, but instruments of public utility. Dr. Karugu's intellectual foundation speaks to such a readiness to serve as the PS for East African Community Affairs. Honorable Speaker, in her 24 years of service across public and private spheres, including her role as Deputy Governor of Nyeri County, Dr. Karugu led programs on public finance, intergovernmental coordination, and citizen empowerment. These are the competencies directly transferable to her prospective role in regional coordination and integration. As Wangari Maathai commanded us before, you cannot protect the environment unless you empower the people, and you cannot empower people unless you include them. Dr. Karugu's track record reflects such inclusive governance, and this was actually presented to us as a committee during the vetting. Honorable Speaker, on strategic vision, the nominee presented a clear and actionable framework for deepening Kenya's role within the East African community. Her priorities include trade facilitation, infrastructure connectivity, and harmonization of policy and standards, all geared towards elevating Kenya's regional leverage. Honorable Speaker, on matters of integrity, the nominee was cleared by all relevant statutory agencies, that is, the Ethics and Corruption Kenya Revenue Authority, the DCI, HELP, Office of the Political Parties, with no adverse reports mentioned so far. Her ethical disposition and commitment to transparent service were apparent. Honorable Speaker, on public participation, the committee fulfilled the provision of Article 1181B of the Constitution by inviting written memorandum from members of the public. No objection were recorded. Instead, her integrity and competence were endorsed by one Gershom Otachi through a sworn affidavit. Honorable Speaker, taken together, the committee found in Dr. Caroline Karugu a candidate of distinction and depth whose intellectual capacity, professional grounding, strategic vision, and ethical fiber place her in good stead to advance Kenya's objectives in the East African community. Her appointment, the committee believes, will strengthen Kenya's regional diplomacy, enhance institutional coordination, and amplify Kenya's voice in shaping the future of the East African community. Honorable Speaker, in the enduring words of one Patrice Lumumba, the future of Africa lies in the hands of its own people, and the committee is confident that Dr. Karugu represents the caliber of leadership required to carry this future forward. Honorable Speaker, in my many years and times of vetting individuals, Caroline Karugu came out as one who performed to the best standard required by this committee. In fact, if I can try to compare, she stands out as the only person that this committee actually vetted, and she answered all the questions with a distinction. She was prepared, both physically, psychologically, and mentally. And she endured all our questions in a very positive manner. And I think that the nominee will be able to handle the rigors required of this office and to ensure that Kenya's standards, Kenya's position in the East African community will be well maintained. Honorable Speaker, accordingly, the committee recommends to the House that it approves the nomination of Dr. Caroline Karugu for appointment as Principal Secretary, State Department for East African Community Affairs. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move and urge the House to adopt this report. I now request the Honorable Kwenya Dhuku to second this motion. I thank you.
The Honorable Kwenya Thuku, please proceed to second.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise with both conviction and clarity to second this motion that this House approves the appointment of Dr. Caroline Wanjiru Karugu as the Principal Secretary for the State Department for East African Community Affairs. At the onset, Madam Speaker, allow me to salute the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence, and Foreign Relations for executing its constitutional mandate with diligence and discernment of statesmen. In the words of Amika Cabro, tell no lies, claim no easy victories. This report is an honest statement to the committee's dedication to transparency, justice, and fidelity to law. Madam Speaker, on Monday, 7th April of 2025, Madam Dr. Karugu stood not as an aspirant, but as an embodiment of experience and vision. She spoke with authority on East African community matters, Kenya's treaty obligations, and the latent opportunities that lie in stronger regional bloc. Madam Speaker, her academic record spoke for herself and speaks for herself to date. She's a holder of a doctorate in business administration. She has held different portfolios in different fields, both in public sphere and private sector. Dr. Karugu is one person who is a go-getter. From her young age, she has served in different capacities in managerial positions, and she has come out as one of the best decision makers that we have had in terms of the young generation that she represented then. Madam Speaker, Kwame Nkrumah once said, those who judge us merely by heights we have achieved would do well to remember the depths from which we started. Dr. Karugu's journey reflects both achievement and endurance. Madam Speaker, in her public service, notably as the Deputy Governor of Nyeri, she led governance and development initiatives which were with distinction. Her prior tenure as Geothermal Development Authority, Britam Holdings, and Nairobi Securities Exchange provided her panoramic view of economic planning and institutional finance and policy harmonization. Madam Speaker, last Parliament, I happened to
interact with Dr. Karugu, when she was serving as the Deputy Governor of Nyeri, where we domiciled a pilot project on UHC. And Madam Speaker, since she was the one who was heading that docket, I can tell you without fear of contradiction that the piloting came out one of the best among the 4 counties that was being ran. And under her purview, we were able to see through what UHC can do, and that was done with a lot of success, Madam Speaker. In her interview, Madam Speaker, she articulated the linkages between trade, infrastructure, and competitiveness, the true building blocks of integration. She committed to fortifying Kenya's presence within EAC, to bridging borders through capital market integration, energy connectivity, and trade facilitation, or promoting value addition for Kenyan products. Madam Speaker, Dr. Karugu gave a good understanding of what EAC entails, and she turned out to be the best principal secretary that maybe Kenya will produce or has produced so far. And given this docket, I believe that she's going to leverage from all the opportunities that lie within the East African community, Kenya being the regional leader in terms of our robust economy, and of course, one of the fastest growing economy within the region. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, I want to quote the words of Barack Obama: Africa doesn't need strong men, it needs strong institutions. That is to say, Madam Speaker, Madam Karen Karugu came out as a person who is an institutional builder. She's one person who is focused to building strong institutions, so that then Kenya can be the hotbed or the bedrock of institutional strength to propel and to propagate the agenda of East Africa. Madam Speaker, upon close of hearings, the committee found no legal, ethical, or professional impediment to her appointment. Her name rose above scrutiny, not because of absence of questions, but because of presence of answers, clear, reasoned, and visionary. Madam Speaker, I urge this Honorable House to consider the appointment of the Honorable Karo Karugu as a new Principal Secretary of East African Community going forward. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. I propose the question. Honorable members, I propose the question that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations in its report on the approval hearing of a nominee for appointment as Principal Secretary laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 15th April 2025, and pursuant to provisions of Article 155(3)(b) of the Constitution and Sections 3 and 8 of Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F. This House approves the appointment of Dr. Caroline Wanjiru Karugu as Principal Secretary, State Department for East African Community EAC Affairs. The Honorable Ndindi Nyoro.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to say something very briefly, especially in regards to not just this appointment, but all of them. Number one, Honorable Speaker,
is based on actually my experience as where I was serving before, and something I reflected upon yesterday, that even as we talk about the people who are the people who are joining government in various departments and ministries, it is important for all of us to understand the challenges which they are coming to solve. And I'm saying so even in regards to the PS that we are considering this morning, and the others that we will be considering this morning, that there are some things that we have to pull in one direction as a country. And I'm saying these things and repeating them because I know the enormity of it. That even as they come to serve, there are some things that we have to put concerted efforts here in Parliament, the executive, and every other Kenyan, because Kenya belongs to all of us. And the challenge I want to highlight, because it cuts across all the departments and ministries, Honorable Speaker,
is that we have to pull in one direction in finding a solution to the revenue and debt strains that we have as a country. Honorable Speaker, part of the revenue that we collect as a country, because we are considering one department that is will be looking at our trade and especially regionally.
Honorable Speaker, the challenge that we will have and the challenge that the nominees will have, Honorable Speaker, is to be able to find solutions within whatever area that we are serving, concertedly, that we find a solution around our debt and revenue. Honorable Speaker, I was in the point of saying that out of the revenue that we collect as a country, Honorable Speaker, currently now as we talk, and part of the challenge of, I saw yesterday the debate in the House around CDF and the release of that money, is basically because of the strain. That after collecting 2.4 trillion Kenya shillings, Honorable Speaker, after collecting 2.
Order, Honorable Ndindi. I have a point of order. What is out of order, Honorable?
Well, Speaker, I'm listening to Didi Nyoro. Honorable Didi Nyoro is like he's in a lecture hall. We are talking about competence and competencies of individuals who have been nominated to serve in this government. And we are considering their suitability. We're not talking about revenue.
May I have the mic? What is out of order,
I think it's still
Honorable
having
Elisha?
hangover of having been a budget chair.
You are out of order. You are obviously out of order. Well, I will allow him to debate. You have a few minutes. Please conclude.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Some things may not need a response. Honorable Speaker, I was saying that out of the 2.4 trillion Kenya shillings, approximately we could correct as revenue, half of that money will be going into debt repayment. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, it is important that we must find a solution as a country. And I'm not here to blame anyone. I'm just saying in our legislative role here and in all the other arms of government, there must be concerted effort in regards to the existential threats that we have in our economy. Honorable Speaker, one of them is debt. It is tied up with revenue, because if we had more revenue, even the current debt portfolio or servicing will not be as a challenge as it is now, Honorable Speaker. Secondly, Honorable Speaker, when we talk about trade and East Africa, we must give the entrepreneurs, the investors, the primacy of the role they deserve. Honorable Speaker, in many countries, an investor, Honorable Speaker, is given and accorded the support and the respect they deserve. Because, Honorable Speaker, when you come in as an investor in Kenya, you are not doing the country is not doing you a favor. It is actually you doing the country a favor. And I say so because as we look around trade, we may rely on our own internal capital, Honorable Speaker, but we may also have to rely on external capital out of entrepreneurs from other economies. Honorable Speaker, the PS of the current department that we are debating this morning must be very abreast that even as we attract investors, investors must be heroes of this country, Honorable Speaker, and get a feeling like the country is doing them a favor, Honorable Speaker, for them to come in. It is actually them that are doing our country a favor, given the fact that there are many parameters and there are many available alternatives for them to invest their money, Honorable Speaker. In overall, Honorable Speaker, I want to congratulate all the nominees and call upon them that we be sincere in public service so that even as we come in, we are looking at the generality of making our country better, Honorable Speaker, and not any other personal consideration. With those many remarks, Honorable Speaker, of you, I submit.
Thank you. The Honorable Irene Mayaka. Honorable members, you may choose to make your comments brief so that, yes, what is out of order, Minority Leader?
Madam Speaker, I seek your indulgence that looking at the time that we are remaining within the morning session and the important motions we have on the order paper, I was requesting that with your indulgence after Honorable Mayaka, if the mover could be called to reply.
But we want to talk, yeah. There's another one, the next one. Honorable members, that is noted. Yes, I know. What we could do, honorable members, is to have 2 people on the left and 2 people on the right. So we start with the Honorable Irene Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Speaker, given the time constraints, I'll be very brief. I want to take this opportunity to support the special motion on the approval of the Honorable Caroline Karugu. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Caroline Karugu is someone who is well known to me. I have had an opportunity to interact and work with her, and her qualifications in terms of academics speak for her. Her qualifications in terms of having an opportunity to work in the public space also speaks to her. And Honorable Speaker, as a chair of regional integration, I'm in particularly very happy to have Caroline on board, because it's very clear from her sentiments in terms of our relationships with other regions, especially the EAC and Pan-Africa are in the right place. I like that she speaks about the economic aspect of it and how we can actually strengthen our relationships. And so, Honorable Speaker, I have absolutely no doubt that Carol is the best person for this job, and I want to wish her the absolute best, and I do support the approval of her nomination. I thank you.
Very much. The Honorable John Waluke, member for Sirisia. Apparently the card is indicating that he's in the house. The Honorable Jared Okello, member for Nyando.
Madam Speaker, I thank you, and I also want to join my colleagues in supporting the motion before us of passing the name of our dear sister, Caroline, Her Excellency, Caroline Karugu. I have known her since our Azimio days, and even though the country was balkanized along the Azimio and Kenya Kwanza lines, Honorable Karugu, even though coming from a region that was dominated by Kenya Kwanza, she chose to stick with Azimio because she had faith in what Azimio could be able to achieve for this country at the end of our elections. Honorable Speaker, there are people who flip-flop in politics. And even though Azimio lost, a loss that we contested and are still trying to figure out how it came to pass, Honorable Karugu never deviated from the bigger vision of sticking with Azimio. She played a pivotal role in Baba's African Union chairmanship quest, where she was part of the team that was putting everything together. And I remember seeing my sister, Honorable Karugu, when Baba did not make it in Addis. And as I walked out of the auditorium where I played a role as the chief agent, I met my sister, Caroline, a very devastated lady, almost to tears. But I encouraged her. I told her, the hyenas have not eaten the earth, and there will be another opportunity. And that opportunity has actually come. And little did she know that today she would be part of the executive that will be making critical decisions in running the affairs of our country and that of East Africa region, Madam Speaker. And therefore, we have a lot of confidence in what she's going to do. Part of the experts that we have graciously donated to this government. In fact, she's going to work under a CS who is also part of the experts that we gave them, my friend Honorable Beatrice School. And therefore, we know that with her support and that of the government of the day, led by our brother, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, she is going to create an enabling environment for East African community to trade with itself and do things right. And therefore, I support my sister, Honorable Karugu, in this office that she is yet to occupy. And I thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. On my right, honorable members, I do not see interest on my right, so I'll go to the left, to the Honorable Millie Odhiambo, and to be the last.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I, of course, do support the appointment of Honorable Caroline to this position. Madam Speaker, if you look at her CV, she's actually overqualified. Let me not say overqualified because it has a negative connotation. She is qualified for this position, and she responded very well when she was undergoing vetting. She's somebody that is personally known to me, and as Honorable Jared has said, we worked very well with her in Azimio. And consistency pays, and I want to encourage even those who are in politics that you need to learn that consistency pays. She was actually nominated from our side, and Madam Speaker, we can vouch for her that she's hardworking and she'll do very well. I just wanted to indicate, Madam Speaker, that indeed women support fellow women. I know earlier on my good brother, Honorable Junet, had indicated that women don't tend to support fellow women, but women do support their fellow women. In Suba North, I can tell you, I was supported by women for all the 3 terms. And I can also tell you that, Madam Speaker, you can see even now we are supporting Caroline, and even for the previous nominee, despite the challenges that she was facing, we have supported her. And Madam Speaker, also just to encourage members in the House to understand that gender is definitely a term that is used for both men and women. And where we deal with issues of gender, it means both men and women. It's just that when we talk about equality, then because of the way the country is situated, sometimes it's lopsided against women. Madam Speaker, I know she's going to this docket at a time that the country is facing a lot of challenges. And looking at the issue of trade, I'm sure because of her innovative mind, she will do a lot to help spruce up the country. I want to just note that Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, my former chair of budget, has raised very pertinent issues. One, by raising an alarm on what he has said, and I think I saw him also saying yesterday a ballooning debt, and also challenges in revenue raising as a country. And Madam Speaker, I'm sure as an excellent economist, he knows that one of the drivers of economic development is innovation. And I would have hoped that with Honorable brilliant mind, that he would have actually raised an innovative idea. This has nothing to do with whether you are left or right, east or west. I think the challenge that the country is facing right now is a challenge of, just as you've said, ballooning debt and the issue of raising revenues without further taxing our citizenry. I wish, as Kenyans, we can think of innovative ways. As Emilio Diambo, I have thought of a very basic way of doing that, which I'll be sharing shortly, as a layman. But as a layman, if I can think of a basic way, why can't you, as an economist, think of a more complex way that doesn't tax Kenyans, but raises revenue and then help us repay our debt? So my challenge is back to you. Why don't we think a be more solution-oriented? Can you find a solution? I will put my proposal, however absurd it may sound, but I think it will raise revenue without taxing Kenyans. With those few remarks, and being harassed by the minority leader here, I do support. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Millie Odhiambo. Honorable members, the Honorable Junet Mohammed rose on a point of order, asking the Speaker to call upon the mover to reply. And I would like to establish whether that is the mode of the House, whether I can go ahead and call the mover to reply. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of a contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover.
Thank you very much.
Proceed, Honorable Vice Chair.
Honorable Speaker, can you protect me from Honorable Soro and the rest? They are trying to dictate, and I don't know. Honorable Speaker, thank you very much, and I just want to, I won't take much time. I want to appreciate the members who have spoken very well and interrogated the report that the committee has made, and appreciate them. However, I just want to make one clarification that Honorable Nyando has made, and this was presented in the committee during the vetting, that Dr. Caroline Wanjiru is not Her Excellency, she doesn't hold an ambassadorial position. That was clarified in the committee, and she's just Dr. Caroline Wanjiru. So I think that in terms of ambassadorial positions, I just wanted to make a clarification on that. Otherwise, I beg to reply.
Honorable members, for the convenience of the House, I will reschedule the question to be put to another sitting, as will be scheduled by the House Business Committee. Next order.
Order number 15, special motion, consideration of a nominee for appointment as Principal Secretary, State Department for Science, Research and Innovation.
The Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Education, Honorable Meli, please proceed.
Thank you, Honorable. Madam Speaker, I rise to prosecute this motion, which we tabled yesterday. And Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that, taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Education in its report on the vetting of the nominee for the appointment as Principal Secretary, State Department for Science, Research and Innovation, laid on the table on Tuesday, 15 April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 155(3)(f), B, and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointment and Parliamentary Approval Act and Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the person as a Principal Secretary, Professor Shaukat Ali Abdurazak, State Department for Science, Research and Innovation. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Article 155(3)(b) of the Constitution and Section 5 of Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act and Standing Order 45(1), His Excellency, the President communicated to this House the report or the name. And Honorable Speaker, while referring the matter to the committee, the Speaker directed the committees to undertake the vetting process, which we did, Honorable Speaker, through several sittings. Honorable Speaker, further directed by the Clerk of the National Assembly, we notified the nominee and the general public by placing advert in 2 newspapers of nationwide circulation and the parliamentary website of the time and place of holding the approval hearing by Thursday, 27th March. Honorable Speaker, in compliance with Article 118(b) of the Constitution and Section 6(4) of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act and Cap 7F, Clerk of the Assembly also placed an advertisement in the print media asking or informing the public of the nomination date, time, and place of approval hearing. He further invited the public to submit memoranda by way of written statements on oath, affidavit, on the suitability or otherwise of the nominee in conformity with Section 669 of Public Appointments Approval Act. Honorable Speaker, in line with that, by Thursday, there was actually no memoranda against the nominee. The Clerk of the National Assembly also wrote to the Kenya Revenue Authority, Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, Directorate of Criminal Investigation, Higher Education Loans Board, Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, the Commission for University Education, and relevant government agencies, seeking reference and background checks relating to the suitability of the nominee. All those government agencies returned a point of good, of no problem with the nominee. On the same note, the nominee was vetted on scheduled on Friday, 4th April 2025 on the key areas of qualification, experience, grasp of government policy, framework, administrative capacity, integrity, ethics, among other parameters, to the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7. On those particular areas, Honorable Speaker, the candidate showed a lot of knowledge, a lot of understanding, especially in the field of research, and he was actually almost an excellent candidate. The committee, having undertaken the extensive and thorough vetting of the nominee, recommended that the National Assembly approves the nomination of Professor Shaukat Ali Abdurazak for the appointment as Principal Secretary, State Department for Science, Research and Innovation. Honorable Speaker, the nominee showed that he was a distinguished scholar and a qualified professional with a lot of expertise in research, science, and technology. He holds a doctorate from Shimen University, Japan, Doctor of Philosophy in Applied Sciences and Master of Science in Applied, both from the University of Aberdeen, UK. He also holds a postgraduate diploma in Animal Nutrition at the University of Aberdeen, UK, and a diploma from Egerton University in Kenya. His foundational academic journey began at Aladina Visram High School in Mombasa, where he scored a straight, he passed his exams. Professor Shaukat indicated he has a wealth of experience spanning over 3 decades in academia, public life, and international leadership. Currently, he serves as the director. I'll just finish. He serves as a director at the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, headquartered in Vienna, Austria. I'm not reading everything. You need to protect me, Madam Speaker, from the majority whip.
Order, Honorable.
Yes,
Order, Honorable
majority
Soro.
whip is
Order, Honorable
harassing me.
Soro.
Yes.
You may conclude, Chair.
Yes, I want to conclude. Yes. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for protecting me. Professor Shaukat is a renowned scholar, Madam Speaker, and he's a person with a wealth of experience. He served as a Deputy Vice Chancellor at Egerton University. He has been a research fellow, and he has worked extensively in this country. He's a founder CEO of Nacosti, and he's actually a man with a lot of wealth of experience. In fact, he indicated that given this particular position, and if this House approves him, he is actually having a very clear plan on how to develop research and development in this country, noting how much research can bring into this nation in terms of economy, in terms of creating jobs, in terms of saving this country from actually importing things which you could otherwise be able to do under what we call innovation. Honorable Speaker, I want to say that one of the things that we have really lacked as a country, and I want to talk to this House, and Professor Shaukat told us, is to really put research at least 2% of the GDP, so that by the end of the day, we will have actually created a lot for our country. We will have actually developed our youth, and we will actually have developed our innovation centers. So, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move, and I ask the member, Honorable Gisairo, to second. Thank you.
Yes, go ahead, the Honorable Gisairo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, from the onset, you'll need to protect me from Honorable Farah, my leader, and Osoro, because they've started attacking me. Honorable Speaker. Yes.
Did you see that anyone is attacking you? I never noticed anything like that.
They have already told me what to do. They've told me to say I second and I sit down.
You are protected, and I did not notice.
Thank you, Honorable
you.
Speaker. I was just bringing it to your attention. Honorable Speaker, as the chair of the committee has said, after vetting Professor Shaukat, it is important for us to notice that, to note that without research, we can never be a country that produces. Without research, we'll never be a country that innovates, and therefore starting to fix our issues through production. And Honorable Shaukat, through his experience, proved to us that he is capable of taking leadership of the State Department that is new, and that has been put away from the universities, because the universities by themselves are already struggling, and we needed this State Department to be alone standing. And he has proved that he is capable, and with his experience, and with the support of this House in terms of financing and funding to that State Department, we should be able to move Kenya into the right direction of innovation and therefore be a producing country. And because of time, Honorable Speaker, I won't go far. I would like to second. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Honorable members, I now propose the question. That taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Education in its report on the approval hearing of a nominee for appointment as Principal Secretary laid on the table of this House on Tuesday, 15th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 155(3)(b) of the Constitution and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of Professor Abdul Razak Shaukat as Principal Secretary, State Department for Science, Research and Technology. The Honorable Junet, Minority Leader.
Then you reply. Madam Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. Madam Speaker, this is a very, very important State Department. And I want to thank the Executive for setting up this State Department of Innovation, Science and Technology. Madam Speaker, what is happening in the world now is about innovation, it's about technological transfer. Madam Speaker, today when you are watching the news, President Trump has frozen $200 million, dollars for Harvard on innovation, Madam Speaker. It tells you how important that conversation is. Secondly, Madam Speaker, Professor Abdul Razak Shaukat is a known scholar in this country. He's a man of impeccable credentials, Madam Speaker. He has helped this country all his life. He has served this country under many capacities. He actually has given his life to public service, Madam Speaker, and there will have been no better person to be in charge of this State Department of Innovation, Science and Technology than Professor Abdul Razak Shaukat. Madam Speaker, with those few remarks, I support.
Thank you very much, Minority Leader. The Honorable Farah Maalim, 2 minutes.
Madam Speaker, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I have known Dr. Abdul Razak for more than 3 decades. He has a powerful wealth of knowledge. And he is already at this stage serving in that unique position as the only African in the International Atomic Energy Agency. This is a man who is going to take research in many fields in this country to a higher level, a much higher level. I just hope, as one of my old friends has said here, that we need to dedicate not less than 2% of our GDP into research so that we can benefit from somebody like Professor Abdul Razak while he still has the energy and the mind and everything else. Madam Speaker, I support, and we should not waste a lot of more times on this thing. Somebody.
The Honorable Ndindi Nyoro, 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, what we call Silicon Valley today is actually out of a policy from the US called STEM around some few decades back, and also the proximity of Stanford University. Honorable Speaker, STEM as a policy gave the United States of America many immigrants who are very good and smart in those areas, Honorable Speaker, but also the availability of money, Honorable Speaker, from Wall Street gave them seed money to commercialize those ideas, Honorable Speaker. That goes on to show how much important research and development is, Honorable Speaker, for the growth of the country. But, Honorable Speaker, I challenge the nominee that in many developed economies, Honorable Speaker, the budgets for R&D actually comes from the private sector. And that is the reason why private sector should give given room to thrive. Honorable Speaker, if you look, for example, as the R&D budget, research and development budget, for a company like Amazon, one company, is bigger than the entire R&D budget for Germany as a country, Honorable Speaker. In the same US, if you take only 2 tech companies, their R&D budget is bigger than the physical R&D budget of the US. The last thing, Honorable Speaker, I want to say is that as a House, we must look at the size of government. This is a new department, Honorable Speaker, and I don't think, Honorable Speaker, the previous department ought to have been split. One person can handle our universities and this department as it has been before, because the actual roles are actually done by the sagas. We have universities on one side, but, Honorable Speaker, in this department, we have NACOSTI, which actually does the duplication of what the PS would be doing. I submit.
The women rep for Mombasa County, please,
Asante sana
Summarize.
mheshimiwa. Asante sana mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi kama mama kaunti wa Mombasa, kwa vile Abdurazak anatoka Mombasa, nimefurahi sana kupewa nafasi hii kuweza kumpongeza Abdurazak Shaukat. Ni msomi mheshimiwa Spika. Huyu ambaye anachukua idara hii mheshimiwa Spika ni mtu mchapakazi, na ukiangalia katika historia yake sehemu tofauti ambazo amefanya kazi kwa jamii, ni mtu ambaye ni wa kujituma, ni mtu ana uweledi wa uongozi. Kwa hiyo mimi nachukua fursa hii kwa vile muda unasi, niweze kumpongeza ndugu yangu Abdurazak Shaukat, nimwambie shika kasi, fanya kazi na usaidie rais kuongoza ili taifa kwenda mbele. Asante sana mheshimiwa Spika.
The Honorable Baya, 2 minutes, please. What is out of order, Honorable Bashir? What is out of order, Honorable Bashir?
Honorable Speaker, looking at the mood of the House and the competency of Abdurazak Shaukat, I request the mover to be called to reply.
Honorable Baya, I know you really would have wanted to say very good things about Professor, but there is a request by the Honorable Bashir, which I would like to... Can I give you a minute? Yes. 1 minute, one minute.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the person of Shaukat is what we need as a country to develop research. And when he was chairman of NACOSTI, he really stimulated research in universities. But then when he left, everything went down. We have the right person for the job. And this person comes from Kilifi and is Professor Shaukat. Thank you.
Very well. Honorable members, the Honorable Bashir Ross and called upon the Speaker to call upon the mover to reply. And I would like to find out whether it is the mood of the House that I call upon the mover to reply. Will as many as have that opinion say aye? As many as have a contrary opinion say nay? There is, have it. Mover.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I reply that the House approves.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, for convenience of the House, I defer putting of the question to a time, as it will be scheduled by the House Business Committee. Next order.
Order number 16, special motion, consideration of a nominee for appointment of Principal Secretary, State Department for Devolution.
The Honorable Chairperson, Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure. But I would like to take that again. The Chair, Departmental Committee on Regional Development. Please proceed.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Now, Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Regional Development in its report on the approval hearing of a nominee for appointment as Principal Secretary laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 15 April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 155(3)(b) of the Constitution and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of Mr. Michael Loikianu Lenasalon as Principal Secretary, State Department for Devolution. Now, Honorable Speaker, now the Departmental Committee on Regional Development held approval hearing for Mr. Michael Lenasalon, nominee for appointment as Principal Secretary, State Department for Devolution, as requested by His Excellency the President and communicated to the House by the Speaker on Wednesday, 26 March 2025. Now, the nominee appeared before the committee on Friday, 4th April 2025 for the approval hearing. The committee examined his suitability based on the criteria set out in Section 7 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act. In addition, the committee examined his academic credentials, relevant experience, knowledge of sector issues, leadership, and integrity. The committee paid due regard to the procedure used to arrive at the nominee through the report of the Public Service Commission on the recruitment exercise. The committee also considered any constitutional or statutory requirements relating to the office in question and suitability of the nominee for appointment proposed, having regard to whether the nominee's abilities, experience, and qualities meet the needs of the State Department. Honorable Speaker, having held the approval hearing of the nominee regarding the suitability, the committee observed that due process was followed in the recruitment process as provided for under Article 153(3)(b) of the Constitution and Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act 7F.
Chair, please do not read the report. You can summarize.
Honorable Speaker, I am just coming to the end of this. And I want to say this, Honorable Speaker, that the nominee was cleared by KRA, tax compliance, help, and the payment of education, loans, EAC, and integrity, DCI on their criminal status, and ORPP on membership of political parties.
Move. You need to move.
Honorable Speaker, the committee therefore recommends that the National Assembly approves the appointment of Mr. Michael Loikianu Lenasalon to the position of Principal Secretary, State Department for Devolution. Honorable Speaker, I therefore beg to move and request Honorable Abuor, the Vice Chair of this committee, to second.
Proceed, Honorable
Thank you,
Abuor.
Honorable Speaker.
Thank you very much. Proceed, Honorable Abuor.
Si hiyo jina ni ya kwenu? Na kwenu ni? Oh.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise to second the motion. When the nominee appeared before the committee, he appeared very knowledgeable on issues to do with devolution. And I think he also has a requisite qualification, academic qualification for doing that job. On that basis, Madam Speaker, I beg to second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Regional Development in the report of the approval hearing of a nominee for the appointment of a principal secretary laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 15th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 155(3)(b) of the Constitution and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of Mr. Michael Loikianu Lenasalon as Principal Secretary, State Department for Devolution. The Honorable Minority Leader.
Madam Speaker, you can hear. Madam Speaker, you can hear when you are reading that name. Members of Parliament here are shocked. They are wondering, how did somebody with that kind of name find himself on the floor of this House to be approved as a Principal Secretary? You can just hear, they are all shocked. Madam Speaker, finding a name of Lenasalon on this floor is not easy. But this is part of the implementation of the new Constitution, where we have to, and the broad-based system of government, where we have to take care of minorities, marginalized communities, people who have been left behind for many years, people who never expected in their lives that they can serve in these offices of high calling, women, PWDs. Madam Speaker, we have a beautiful constitution as a country. So, Mr. Speaker, today is I am very proud legislature.
I commend members who made comments and supported the committee's report. I therefore beg to reply. Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. For the convenience of the House, the question to be put is deferred to another sitting as scheduled by the House Business Committee. Next order.
Order number 17, special motion, consideration of a nominee for appointment of Principal Secretary, State Department for Shipping and Maritime Affairs.
Thank you. The chairperson, Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure. May I confirm whether you are doing it on behalf of the chairman?
Honorable Speaker, acting on behalf of the chairman, I beg to move that, taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure in its report on the approval hearing of the nominee for appointment of Principal Secretary laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 15th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 155(3)(b) of the Constitution and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of Aden Abdi Miller as Principal Secretary, State Department for Shipping and Maritime. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of 155(3)(a) of the Constitution, Section 47(3) of the Public Service Commission Act, Cap 185, and Section 5 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, His Excellency the President submitted the name of Mr. Aden Abdi Miller as a nominee for appointment for the position of Principal Secretary, Shipping and Maritime Affairs. Honorable Speaker, Section 6(9) of the Public Appointments Committee Parliamentary Approval, Cap 57, the clerk invited the interested members of the public to submit any representation by written statements of oath affidavits with supporting documents on suitability of the nominee. The invitations were made via advertisement on the dailies on 3rd April 2025. Honorable Speaker, the notification was followed up with a letter to the nominee inviting him to attend the approval hearing, requesting him to submit completed questionnaire as directed by the National Assembly. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Article 118 of the Constitution, Section 6(3) of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval, and Standing Order 45(3) of the National Assembly Standing Orders, the Clerk of the National Assembly, by way of advertisement, print media, notified the general public of the intention of the committee to conduct the approval hearing. The committee conducted the approval hearing on Friday, 4th of April, and in conducting the approval hearing, the committee observed as follows. The committee found, the committee observed as follows, that Miller started his career as a technician in Kenya Power. He also has been able to have extensive experience in different corporations, both within Kenya and outside Kenya. The nominee holds the master's and MBA from Mount Kenya University. The nominee portrayed considerable knowledge and understanding of the shipping and maritime sector. The committee exhibited exemplary knowledge of topical and administrative issues, technical issues touching on maritime sector, and has the requisite qualification and experience to serve as a Principal Secretary for Shipping and Maritime Affairs. The nominee meets the requirements of Chapter 6 of the Constitution and has provided all the documentation necessary for approval as a Principal Secretary, the State Department of Shipping and Maritime Affairs. The committee, in conclusion, observed that the nominee has the experience, the knowledge, the qualification to be appointed to the position of the Principal Secretary, State Department for Shipping and Maritime Affairs, and showed great enthusiasm with great ideas to be able to harness the resources both within the maritime for the betterment of the nation of Kenya. Honorable Speaker, based on the observation made by the committee therefore recommends to this House to approve the nomination of Mr. Aden Abdi Miller for the appointment as the Principal Secretary, State Department of Shipping and Maritime Affairs. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move. And I now request Honorable Hussein Weitan to second.
Honorable Ketan.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I can confirm here as a member of Transport and Infrastructure Committee that the nominee displayed high level of professionalism and integrity and skills for maritime. And in fact, if implemented, the strategies that nominee has displayed, Kenya can go to the next level and have and attain the double-digit economic growth. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. I beg to second.
I need to propose the question. Honorable members, I propose the question that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Transport and Infrastructure in its report on the approval hearing of a nominee for appointment as Principal Secretary, laid on the table of the House on Tuesday, 15th April 2025, and pursuant to provisions of Article 155(3)(b) of the Constitution and Section 3 and 8 of Public Appointments, Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F. This House approves the appointment of Mr. Aden Abdi Miller as Principal Secretary, State Department for Shipping and Maritime Affairs. Minority Whip. I hear people shouting, I put the question, but the chance now is for the Minority Whip.
Mr. Speaker,
Minority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I want to take this opportunity to thank the Transport Committee. Madam Speaker, if there is a committee that has done a thorough job this time on this vetting, is the Transport Committee, Madam Speaker. They have looked at every aspect of this matter. And Madam Speaker, you can see their report categorically says that the nominee has shown a lot of enthusiasm to do the job that he's being nominated for. Madam Speaker, the nominee is somebody known to me also, as I must declare that. Is somebody who has distinguished career, he's a distinguished career civil servant. He has worked in the Kenya Power, he has worked in the NTSA, he has worked in many sectors, Madam Speaker. And more importantly, Madam Speaker, this vetting and this appointment this time, Madam Speaker, are God-sent. Because this man comes also from one of the far-flung areas of the country, all at the border of Somalia, where the mother of Honorable Farah Malim stays, and the father stays, Madam Speaker. It's somewhere we cannot go. If we were to go today, me and you will need 5 days to reach there, Madam Speaker. And we will not even attempt to go there. It's only them who can go because they know how to navigate the situation there. Madam Speaker, the executive, the president, we must congratulate him. Identifying somebody from that kind of place, Dadaab, you know, some of the Kenyans here think that part of the country is part of Somalia.
Minority Whip. You have spoken very well about the candidate.
Yes.
However, in the morning, the Honorable Farah Malim told us that the mother was in his house.
No, but he has two homes. He has one there and one here. So you can't know which one the mother is staying. So you could be in that one, Madam Speaker.
You may proceed.
So, Madam Speaker, you don't know which one he's staying. These are people who have 10 homes. Like Farah, he has 40 homes, Madam Speaker, as we speak. So anyway, Madam Speaker, this is a great man. This is a guy who's going to help the country. And I urge the House to approve, to support, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much. I'll give a minute to the Honorable Farah.
Madam Speaker, Maalim. Madam Speaker, I want
Honorable Mishi, order. You'll get a chance, Honorable
Madam
Mishi.
Speaker, I want to begin. Madam Speaker, I want to begin by thanking His Excellency, our President William Ruto, and His Excellency, the former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga, for having seen. This is the first time my constituency, one of the biggest constituencies in terms of population in this country, has a PS in 10 years. You're right. In terms of population, we have bigger population than even the whole of Kilifi province, Kilifi County. Madam Speaker, I know the young man. Right from the days he was in here, JKUAT, Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, doing a diploma course, top of his class. Then did a degree, first degree in electrical engineering, top of his class. And the man has got a master's now. He has an integrity of unmatched integrity. In one time, I remember he was working in a place with a very big salary, But because he was not being given enough, he was not doing enough for the people, he said, I don't deserve this salary. You never get somebody like that in this country today. You don't get somebody who says, I'm earning more than I deserve. I need to put in more into the organization. And he has been a career civil servant, and I appreciate very much, and I appreciate the House, and I say, let's support this. Thank you very much for members of Parliament also for supporting me on this. And also for Junet, by the way, whose mother comes from our side. I'm his uncle. He did not declare that interest. Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Mishi Mboko.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika, na mimi pia naunga mkono hoja hii ya uteuzi wa kijana wetu Aden Abdi Mila, na niweze kumshukuru Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya pamoja na Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga kufikiria kabila ama jamii ambazo zimetengwa. Tuliona Fikirini kutoka kule Pwani, tuliona Profesa Shaukat kutoka Pwani, tumeona pia leo kijana wetu kutoka sehemu za Samburu, Michael, na sasa hivi tuko na kijana Abdi. Jamani, chenye sifa lazima kipewe sifa. Na naweza kusema ya kwamba mambo ya ubaharia na mambo ya bahari ni muhimu sana, hususan kwa watu wa Pwani. Najua kijana huyu kwa uzoefu wake wa elimu, kwa uzoefu wake wa kufanya kazi katika taasisi za umma na taasisi za kibinafsi, ataweza kusaidia hata mambo ya uvuvi katika kule Pwani, katika ziwa letu la Victoria, ataweza kusaidia mahali pakubwa sana. Na niweze kusema nimeona pia ni mtu ambaye amesaidia mambo ya jamii kwa kiwango kikubwa sana, na tajriba yake haswa ya elimu itamwezesha kuleta mageuzi katika sera na katika sheria zile ambazo zinatakana kupigwa msasa kuhakikisha mambo ya ubaharia na mambo ya bahari kwa jumla yataweza kuleta natija na yataweza kugeuza uchumi wa taifa hili letu la Kenya, haswa tukiona ya kwamba kilimo samawati ni kilimo ambacho serikali ya Kenya Kwanza, ama tunaweza kusema serikali ya mseto sasa, ambayo imechanganyika, imekipatia kipao mbele. Kwa hivyo mimi nasema kijana huyu anaweza na ana tajriba ya kuleta mageuzi ambayo yataleta natija katika mambo ya ubaharia. Naunga mkono Mheshimiwa Spika.
Asante. Mheshimiwa Abdi Kadir. 2 minutes, please.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving the opportunity. Madam Speaker, you know, I have known the nominee for about 30 years. We have been schoolmates. I was 1 year ahead of him in high school. One was in Jacko Art, I was in Nairobi University. Our history is intertwined. He's somebody of integrity. He has the experience, and professionally, he's somebody who has worked through the system. He was working in Kenya Power Lighting, and he worked in NTSA for a long time. This is a nominee. If given the chance, I think he will do a very good job. He will do a thorough job in maritime and shipping affairs. With those remarks, I do support the nominee. Thank you.
Member for Kwanza, the honorable member for Kwanza.
Madam Speaker, I just want to take this opportunity that I know Abdi very well. When he was in TSA, I met him personally, and I think he's up to the task. I therefore want to ask this House to give him this opportunity so that I can be able to work. He's somebody I know, a boy of very good integrity. And I met him at NTCA myself personally, and I find this guy very capable. Let's give him a chance, and if it's anything else, we'll direct him. I support.
Thank you. Honorable members, I hear voices that I call upon the mover to reply. I would like to find out that is it the mood of the House that I call upon the mover to reply? As many as have that opinion say aye. As many as have a contrary opinion say nay. Mover.
Honorable Speaker, I thank you for the discussions and the comments and the ideas that the House has had in discussing the approval of Aden Abdi Mila. And I reply.
Honorable members, for convenience of the House, I defer putting of the question to a time that it will be scheduled by the House Business Committee. Next.
Order number 18, special motion, consideration of a nominee for appointment of Principal Secretary, State Department for Broadcasting and Telecommunications.
Honorable members, in the interest of time, I defer order number 18 to a time as it will be scheduled by the House Business Committee. There be no other business, honorable members. The time now being 12:58 p.m., this House is adjourned until today, Wednesday, the 16th of April at 2:30 p.m.
To have the numbers, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Orders number 44, subsection 2C, a number of members of Parliament will be requesting 4 statements. The statement on the salary increment for teachers in municipality areas in Isiolo County is a statement sent to be requested this morning by Honorable Mumina Bonaya, the Member of Parliament for Isiolo County, and this statement will be handled by the House Committee on Matters Education. The Education Committee will be handling yet another statement that will be sought by Honorable Rashid Bedzimba, the Honorable Member for Kisauni. This request for statement for the Honorable Member for Kisauni is on the criteria for the recognition and education of certificates and diplomas obtained from school offering international curricula in the country. Honorable Member for Mandera South, Honorable Abdul Haro, will be requesting for a statement on the status of upgrading of Elwak Power Station with a hybrid solar system. This statement will be responded by the Committee on Energy. The Environment and Forestry and Mining Committee will be required to handle the statement by Honorable Ongondo Were, MP for Kasipul, who will be requesting for a statement on indiscriminate and illegal mining activities in Kowidi, location in Kasipul constituency. The National Cohesion and Integration Bill, National Assembly Bills number 74 of the year 2023 by the Chairperson, National Cohesion and Equal Opportunity, is a bill currently at the second stage where members of Parliament will be debating the National Cohesion and Integration Bill and its provisions. This morning, we equally expect debate on the consideration of a comprehensive economic partnership agreement between the Republic of Kenya and the United Arab Emirates. Remember, on Wednesday morning is a day set aside for consideration of members' business, and the House does not consider any business brought to the House by the leader of the majority as well as the leader of the minority. But in the order paper this morning, what is taking the lion's share of the order paper is the debate on the consideration of various principal secretaries who have been nominated to serve in different ministries. The consideration of a nominee for appointment as principal secretary to the State Department for Broadcasting and Telecommunications is a special motion by the Chairperson Departmental Committee on Communication, Information and Innovation, that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Communication, Information and Innovation in its report on the approval hearing of a nominee for appointment as a principal secretary that was laid on the table of the House on the 15th day of April 2024, and pursuant to the appointments, pursuant to the provisions of Article 155, subsection 3B, the House approves the appointment of Stephen Motari Isaboke as a principal secretary to the State Department for Broadcasting and Telecommunications. But the committee has recommended approval of these nominees with condition, and the condition is that in order to avert any potential conflict of interest with respect to the claims made relating to the part ownership of GoTV Kenya Limited, the appointing authority reassigns the nominee to a different state department upon taking the oath of office. So this is the Committee on ICT that has recommended the approval of incoming PS, Stephen Isaboke, to the State Department for State Broadcasting, but has recommended that upon taking the oath of office, the nominee is reassigned to another state department to avoid issues of conflict of interest owing to the fact that the nominee is one of the key shareholders in GoTV Kenya Limited. The implementation of the universal health care coverage and of a policy on the mandatory use of public health care facilities by public officers is a motion by Sabina Chege. In this motion, the quorum has been attained. Allow me to hand you over.
I now confirm that we quorate. Order, members. Order. I think we start.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair. Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Majority leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the House today, Wednesday, April 16, 2025, morning sitting. reports of the Auditor General and financial statement for the years ended 30th June 2021, 30th June 2022, 30th June 2023, and the certificates therein in respect of Chelalang Secondary School, Chesamisi High School, Chewoyet National School, West Pokot, Gakoe Girls High School, Goseta Boys High School, Kese Secondary School, Kerio Boys Secondary School, Turkana, Kiambu High School, Kitale School Secondary, Lenana School, Lodwa Boys High School, Morulen Mixed Secondary, Namamwanga Bahal Secondary School, Rumwe Mixed Day Secondary School, St. Brigide's Girls High School, St. Joseph Boys High School, Kitale, St. Mary's Kababi Boys High School, and Uhuru Girls High School, Lokichor. Number 2, Auditor General's report on the status of the implementation of recommendation of Public Accounts Committee report for the financial year 2020-2021. Number 3, Auditor General's report on the status of the implementation of recommendation of the 24th report of the Public Investment Committee. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I lay.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
The chairperson, the Honorable Wamboka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I beg to give notice of the following motion that this House adopt report of the Public Investments Committee on the Governance and Education on its examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statements of state corporations in Central Region for the financial year 2018-19, 2019-20, and 2020-2021, laid on the table of the House on Wednesday, 6th December 2023.
Thank you. Honorable members, for the convenience of the House, I would want us to skip order number 7 and go directly to order number 8.
Order number 8, procedural motion. Exemption of business from the provision of Standing Order 43.
Majority Leader.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House resolves to exempt the business appearing as orders numbers 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 in today's order paper from the provisions of Standing Order number 43, being a Wednesday morning, are they allocated for business not sponsored by the majority or minority party or business sponsored by a committee. Honorable Speaker, it's a fact within every person here, Honorable Speaker, that Wednesday mornings are set for private members' matters or business. But this particular procedural motion, Honorable Speaker, seeks to exempt such for today because we've got, as you're all aware, we have about 2 weeks to go before we proceed for a long recess, and that is from 1st May. And it's only fair that we dispense of some very urgent business, Honorable Speaker, that includes the reports from the committees on the nominations and the vetting that they did and their reports from the vetting that they did on the appointments and the nominations of the principal secretaries, and so many other reports, Honorable Speaker. The question on the anti-money laundering and combating of terrorism finance laws, Honorable Speaker, that is also ahead of us. So it's only fair that we exempt such business today, Honorable Speaker, being a Wednesday morning, so that we can dispense of this business as quickly as possible. And so I beg to move, Honorable Speaker, and I request the Honorable Junet Mohammed, the Minority Leader, to second. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Who is seconding you? Who is seconding your motion? The Honorable Junet Mohammed, you second this motion.
Mr. Speaker, I second.
Our members, I propose the question which is that this House resolves to exempt the business appearing as order numbers 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 in today's order paper from the provisions of Standing Order number 40, paragraph 3, being a Wednesday morning, a day allocated for business not sponsored by the majority or minority party, or business sponsored by a committee. Is that the mood of the House? Yes. No, members then therefore put the question that this House resolves to exempt the business appearing as order numbers 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17, and 18 in today's order paper from the provisions of Standing Order 40, paragraph 3, being a Wednesday morning, a day allocated for business not sponsored by the majority or minority party, or business sponsored by a committee. Will anyone of that opinion say aye? Those opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, motion, report of the Committee of the Whole House on the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Financing Laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025.
Honourable members, the committee on this bill was concluded and we are at stage of reporting, so I would request the mover to move for third reading.
Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that the anti-money laundering and combat...
Just a minute. Honourable members, I now put the question that this House do agree with the report of the Committee of the Whole House on its consideration of the anti-money laundering and combating of terrorism financing laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025. Will as another opinion say aye? Those opinion say nay. The ayes have it. Move now.
Honourable Speaker, I beg to move that the Anti-Money Laundering and Combating of Terrorism Finance Laws Bill, the National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, be now read at that time. And I also request the Honourable Murugara to second, Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Murugara.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I beg to second. And just before you put the question, Mr. Speaker, I notice Honorable Ruku is here and he's on the order paper. Is it in order for Honorable Ruku, the great man from Bear North?
The Honorable Member, the floor. You are seconding a motion.
Thank you.
A very specific motion which I would proceed.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to second.
Thank you. Honorable members, I propose a question, which is that the anti-money laundering and combating terrorism financing laws Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, being already a third time. Honorable Junet.
Mr. Speaker, I would like to support the third reading of the anti-money laundering bill, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a very, very important bill in combating money laundering and organized crime in our country. Mr. Speaker, there is a serious problem we have in this country when it comes to money laundering, because a lot of our monies are lost in that manner. Because look at what's happening in the counties, for example, Mr. Speaker. Look at what yesterday happened in Kiambu. A lot of money just stashed somewhere. You don't know where it has come from. You don't know what the purpose is. You know, why is that money not in a bank account, Mr. Speaker? Now, this bill is supposed to be dealing with those kind of things. You know, yesterday I saw people, you know, the anti-corruption agencies showing Kenyans, I don't know how many millions of shillings and dollars that have been stashed in homes. That is exactly why we are passing this bill, so that people get afraid of stashing money in their homes instead of in their bank accounts. Because if the money is in the bank account, there will be a formality, there will be a formal way of accounting for it. But now, Mr. Speaker, when you are allowed to keep any amount of money without any accountability in your home, in your mattress, under your bed, you know, some of them, I'm told, the money that was found yesterday in Kiambu was covered with sofrias. That's the information we are getting in Parliament. I don't know whether it is true. And plates. Mr. Speaker, how does that happen in somebody's home? And Mr. Speaker, this bill now is timely, and the President must assent to it as quickly as possible. As quickly as possible, because it is going to help in the financial management of this country, Mr. Speaker. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support the third reading.
Chief Konga.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this bill, as the minority leader said, is indeed very important. Very important in the sense that, Kenya, we've been accused of money laundering. Now, this bill will get rid of some of these things, the shenanigans that we may have seen yesterday. And Mr. Speaker, when people are arrested or called upon to account, Mr. Speaker, they should not plead politics. They should just say, we have just been found with some money, which is unexplained proceeds of crime, and he goes to plead in a court of law. And the rule of law will take its own course, Mr. Speaker. And so, Mr. Speaker, this law is very important, and as it has been said, the President should sign as quickly as possible to deal with some of these untoward characters that indeed have become so in Kenya.
Yeah. I'm just curious. You're a senior lawyer.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the answer, the Honorable Murugari is a senior lawyer. Is having money in your house evidence of crime?
Mr. Speaker, it is not evidence of crime. But as you know, we passed the the FRC regulations recently. For you to have money, more than 1 million shillings, you should be able to explain its source. You should explain its source. If you are unable to explain its source, then under the Assets Recovery Department, then it will be treated as proceeds of crime. Okay. So, Mr. Speaker, there is nobody who is supposed to be holding huge cash in his house, and more importantly, as an elected leader, Mr. Speaker.
Lastly, on this matter will be Honorable Elachi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to start by thanking everyone for standing with me and to thank God for everything. Mr. Speaker, in this country today, what we are seeing, you see, the form of money laundering in this country has really changed. You remember, Mr. Speaker, when the former president changed the system. People have now changed, others have gone into small mini markets. Most of the petrol stations are used for the same. And it's a very, when you look at it, you wonder, how will you be selling here, another one selling here, another one selling here, then you have a big mall, and people are just moving, and you wonder how business is moving. So this bill comes in now to assist us, and more importantly, to just tell us that as a country, we must be very wary that while we accept we have very many foreigners who are coming to support us and to visit, we have to also have checks and balances of what we are doing in this country. With those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to support.
Thank you, honourable members. I want to put the question. Order, which is that, I confirm this quorum, of course, is that the question is that the anti-money laundering and combating of terrorism financing laws amendment bill, National Assembly Bill number 5 of 2025, being now read a third time. As many of that opinion say aye, those of opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the laws relating to anti-money laundering and combating of terrorism financing and proliferation financing, and for connected purposes.
Next order.
Order number 10, special motion, consideration of nominees for appointment as principal secretaries, State Department for Public Investments and Asset Management, and State Department for Economic Planning. Question to be put.
Honourable members, as you are aware, debate on this special motion was concluded yesterday, and therefore wish that the House makes a decision one way or the other. And therefore, order. I therefore put the question that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Finance and National Planning in its report on the vetting of nominees for appointment as principal secretaries in state departments of public investments and asset management and the State Department for Economic Planning, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 10th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 155, 3B of the Constitution of Kenya, and Section 3 and 8 of Public Appointments, Parliament Approvals Act, Cap 7F, this House approved the appointment of the following persons as principal secretaries. 1, Mr. Cyril Wagunda Odede, to the State Department for Public Investments and Asset Management. And 2, Dr. Boniface Makoha, to the State Department for Economic Planning. Will, as many of that opinion, say aye? Aye. Will, as many of that opinion, say nay? The ayes have it.
Order number 11, special motion, consideration of a nominee for appointment as Principal Secretary, State Department for National Government Coordination. Question to be put.
Members, order. The members walking out. Members walking out, would you please take your seats? Order. Take your seats. All members, debate on this motion was held yesterday too. I therefore proceed to put the question, which is that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security in its report on the vetting of a nominee for appointment as Principal Secretary, State Department for National Government Coordination, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 10th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 155, 3B of the Constitution, and Sections 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the Honorable Ahmed Abdisalan Ibrahim as the Principal Secretary, State Department for National Government Coordination. Will as one of that opinion say aye? Aye. And those of the opinion say nay? Ayes have it.
Order number 12, special motion, consideration of nominees for appointment as Principal Secretaries, State Department for Children Welfare Service, and State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy. Question to be put.
Members, debate on this motion was also concluded yesterday, and it's now for us to make a decision this morning. Therefore, proceed to put the question that order, that taking into consideration the findings of the Departmental Committee on Social Protection in its report on the vetting of the nominees for appointment as Principal Secretaries in the State Department for Children Welfare Services and State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy, laid on the table of the House on Thursday, 10th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Article 155, 3B of the Constitution and Section 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approvals Act, Cap 7F, this House approved the appointment of the following persons as Principal Secretaries. 1, CPA Karen Achieng Agengo for the State Department for Children Welfare Services, and Mr. Fikirini Jacobs Katoi Kahindi to the State Department for Youth Affairs and Creative Economy. Order. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of that opinion say nay? Ayes have it. Honorable members, order. It is our rules that you can consult anytime, but when the speaker is on his feet, you don't do anything. You don't even open your mouth. And Honorable Kakuchi was a speaker of a county assembly before. He knows that. Freezing means freezing. This. Okay, next order.
Order number 13, special motion, consideration of a nominee for appointment as Cabinet Secretary.
What's our order, Honorable Jeanette?
Mr. Speaker, the order number 13 has been called out, Mr. Speaker, where we are going to debate on the nominees for cabinet secretaries. And one of the nominees seated here. Mr. Speaker, you cannot skin a monkey when he's looking at you. That is the African proverb, Mr. Speaker, from where I come from. So can he leave the chamber so that members can have freedom to speak about him, what they think about him, Mr. Speaker?
I've not seen any monkey in the house this morning.
Yeah.
Is there? What's out of order, the Honorable?
I want to set the record straight. We don't eat monkeys in Northeastern Province, but he comes from the Nyanza, so we don't skin monkeys. For the record, that only applies to where he represents in Parliament.
I think we'll do this a different way. I don't want to pronounce myself on the mic on that matter, but the person concerned has been communicated to accordingly. Of course, there are repercussions that if he doesn't follow the instructions that is given to him, the House could always vote either way. So there are repercussions for refusing to follow what does. Okay. Oh, members, I wish to call upon the Honorable Jeanette. I'm informed they're not moving this motion. Is that the position? Oh, the majority leader is the House. Majority leader, proceed with this motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that taking into consideration the findings of the Committee on Appointments in its 5th report on the vetting of the nominees for appointment as Cabinet Secretaries laid on the table of the House yesterday, Tuesday, 15th April 2025, and pursuant to the provisions of Articles 152(2) of the Constitution and Sections 3 and 8 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, Cap 7F, this House approves the appointment of the following persons as Cabinet Secretaries. 1, the Honorable Geoffrey Kirenga-Ruku in the Ministry of Public Service, Human Capital Development and Special Programs, and 2, Ms. Hannah Wendot Cheptumo in the Ministry of Gender, Culture, the Arts and Heritage. Honorable Speaker, as I move, Honorable Speaker, let me first begin by thanking all the members of the Public Appointments Committee, of the Appointments Committee, not Public Appointments. It's the act that is called Public Appointments. Of the Appointments Committee who availed themselves the whole of Monday to be able to go through the motions of vetting these 2 Cabinet Secretaries, led by our Honorable Speaker, who is the chair of the Appointments Committee, and dedicated a lot of their time on Monday and yesterday morning to be able to approve these 2 Cabinet Secretaries. And Honorable Speaker, in conducting these approval hearings on Monday, the committee was guided, as I said, by the Public Appointments Act, Parliamentary Approval Act, and the provisions of the Constitution under Article 152, Sub-Article 2. Honorable Speaker, further pursuant to Article 118 of the Constitution, we did invite, on public participation, we did invite members of the public to submit memoranda in contesting the suitability of either of the nominees, and we were able to receive 3 memoranda, out of which only 1 complied with the provisions of the Act, and in this regard, we examined the nominees on the issues raised in the memorandum as contained in the report that I tabled yesterday afternoon. Honorable Speaker, additionally, we were able to look at all the clearance reports from the various agencies, EACC, DCI, the Office of Registrar of Political Parties. I know someone like the Honorable Kirenga-Ruku has previously claimed to be the party leader of the Democratic Party of Kenya, but it became clear that he was only doing so at times in jest. He is not a member, he is not an official of any political party, but was a member and an elected member of parliament under the Democratic Party of Kenya. We also had clearances from the Higher Education Loans Board the office of the DPP to see that none of them had criminal cases preferred against them, the Commission for University Education, and of course, the Kenya Revenue Authority to ascertain that they are compliant in terms of payment of taxes. Honorable Speaker, during the approval hearings conducted, as I said, on Monday, we also examined the suitability of the two nominees based on the criteria set out in the Act. And to this end, the committee observed that pursuant to the Section 6, Sub-Article 7, 6, Sub-Article 8, and 7 of the Public Appointments Parliamentary Approval Act, both nominees demonstrated knowledge of topical administrative and technical issues touching on the portfolios to which they had been nominated and had the requisite abilities, academic qualifications, and professional experience to be approved for appointment as cabinet secretaries. Notably, Honorable Speaker, Ms. Hannah Wendot is an accomplished lawyer who has worked in the Ministry of Cooperatives in public service, and also worked in the private sector, running as the managing partner of a law firm that she ran with her late husband, the late Senator Cheptumo. Geoffrey Ruku is our colleague and has been in public service at least for the last 2.5 years, has immense experience in the private sector. And Honorable Speaker, Ruku, having been elected by the people of Mbeere North 2.5 years ago, has served the people of Mbeere North with a lot of commitment and dedication. It was also notable, Honorable Speaker, that the Honorable Geoffrey Ruku has been a very dedicated legislator. Honorable Speaker, you will notice even this morning, Honorable Ruku was here very early. And it is not because his name was appearing on the order paper. It's not the only reason why he was here. Because he has been a very diligent legislator. Members of this House will bear me witness that among the best first-time members of this House, among the best, has been the Honorable Geoffrey Kirenga Ruku. Honorable Ruku has not only been present in the House, he actually, when he got to this House, he used to sit somewhere at the back. But at some point, he moved to the seat next to the Parliamentary Service Commissioners, next to you, Honorable Speaker. And you know, from his height, you cannot fail to notice Honorable Ruku. And then maybe because of that, his height and physique, he has had opportunity to contribute immensely to many motions and debates in this House and bills. And I must give credit to Honorable Ruku because he has been an avid debater who has actively participated in legislative. You know, Honorable Speaker, there are members who are usually in this House conversing, making noise, gossiping, but never debating. And they never give those on the floor time even to be heard. But Honorable Ruku has been far from that. The Honorable Ruku has been an avid debater, someone who takes his time to read and understand what is before the House. Honorable Speaker, not only in the House, Honorable Speaker, you have seen the Honorable Ruku, how good he has been in articulating government policy. And if you can protect me from the noise behind me, Honorable Speaker. Point of order, Mr. Speaker. Point of order. Honorable Speaker, I was saying Honorable Ruku has been very...
From the rebel.
Mr. Speaker.
Give the member, honorable member the mic.
Mr. Speaker, from the statements of the majority leader, he has described members as gossipers in this House. Mr. Speaker, is that a parliamentary language admissible in this House, Mr. Speaker? It's very demeaning of members.
The majority leader act accordingly and desist from using terms that would cause so many...
Honorable Speaker, unless you feel guilty, I have not named any names. I said in support of the Honorable Ruku, he has been an avid debater in this House. And it's a fact that speaks for itself. I also, if there are members who are present in the House but don't debate, and the hands that can prove me right. And if anyone wants to challenge me, I can adduce evidence of how many times each and every one of us has been debating in this House. And those who have been very noisy, without debating, I can also adduce evidence. Honorable Speaker, I was saying Honorable Roku has also been very keen in articulating government policy, both in the House, outside the House, and even on national TV in debates, and informing the public what the government is doing, and also on his work as a legislator. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Ms. Hannah Wendot Cheptumo, as I said, is an accomplished professional. And I know, Honorable Speaker, this lady has been welcomed to the public sector by those on social media because of an unfortunate statement that she made. Inadvertently, Honorable Speaker, I must say so. And for those who are keen on the approval hearing, we'll notice that she was basically responding to something that was prompted to her by a member of the committee. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, I know she has been welcomed to the public sector by those on social media in not a very kind way, Honorable Speaker, but I can tell members of the public that Ms. Cheptumo is an accomplished lawyer, a lady of immense professional attributes as a lawyer, as a defender of human rights, as a fighter for women's rights, and as a lover of children, including our young girls and women, and a firm defender. And I am certain, Honorable Speaker, as much as gender issues are not just about women, but because of the cases we have seen in the country of femicide and abuse of the rights of women in this country, I am very certain, being an accomplished lawyer, Ms. Hannah Wendot Cheptumo will be at the forefront in defending both genders. Because, Honorable Speaker, during the approval hearings, I did hear the Honorable Junet, the leader of minority, assert that indeed there are also men who suffer. And they suffer quietly. And they look up to Ms. Cheptumo to ensure that they are not suffering quietly, because gender-based issues are not just about the female gender.
Point of? No, just what is out of order? Just give it to the Honorable Deputy Speaker.
As much as I agree with the leader of majority on the professionalism of Hannah Wendot Cheptumo, I still think that the statement she made was unfortunate. It's completely politically incorrect.
Order.
And she must
Order. This motion is coming up for debate shortly. So anybody wants to say something about it, will say it at that time. Don't want you to proceed and finish on this.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, because I honestly didn't understand what was out of order. That is a point for debate. And I only asserted, Honorable Speaker, what transpired. And I know the Deputy Speaker, who is a member of the Appointments Committee, was away. She was not in the vetting committee. Therefore, she would understand where we are coming from on that matter. But I was asserting that this lady has what it takes to defend the rights of both genders, whether it is the male gender or the female gender. And I was asserting that the Honorable Junet did actually get that assertion from her, that gender matters are cut across both ways. Honorable Speaker, I am certain that this lady will be able to serve the Kenyan people and the Kenyan government. And Honorable Speaker, without being an apologist for her, it is only right at times to understand the context in which things are said, and someone who has not been in the space that she was in that day is likely to make such small mistakes, Honorable Speaker. When you have not less than 20 cameras on your face and you are not used to it, Honorable Speaker, people panic and may answer questions in a way that they never intended to. And that is why I said, if the Deputy Speaker was listening to me, and I'm sure even now she's not listening, I said it was inadvertent. Honorable Speaker, I hope the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Gladys Bosholei, has heard what I said, that it was inadvertent, and therefore, on behalf of the good lady, may I offer unreserved apologies, because indeed I'm certain it's something she regretted after she watched what had happened, and I have since spoken to her, and she has offered her unreserved apologies to the country, to the committee, to this House for that inadvertent statement. And I think it is only right that even us, as people who are keen on defending not just girl and women rights, but even the rights of men who are being battered in some quarters, Honorable Speaker. And we must be able to support this lady. And the Honorable Roko Kirenga Joffrey. Honorable Speaker, allow me to then move, request the leader of minority to second this motion in agreement, who is also a senior member of this committee of appointments. Honorable Speaker, urge the House to support the appointment of these 2 cabinet secretaries so that they may go forth and serve the people of Kenya.
Honorable Ruku will leave this House, if approved by the House, to go and serve in the executive, Honorable Speaker. And I remember me telling him during the vetting process, the approval hearing on Monday, that we have seen in the past members who left this House, got to the executive and became very arrogant, became members of the executive who hold members of parliament with contempt. And we have told the Honorable Ruku, he will be the yardstick of the SI unit to measure whether it is customary that any member